yes. Hello, friends. March 5th, in the year of our Lord 2023, Virtual Strangers 178 is live. I, of course, am your host, Wes. With me, as always, are my good friends. What's up, Eric?
What is up, fellas? How are we doing on this fine Sunday afternoon?
Feel great, man. Feel great. Really, I'm enjoying this. It's like going live on the cameras, like my time off, where I'm multitasking all day now, and then I get to just chill for a minute and talk about VR. So this is cool. It's nice to have a break.
Hey, and I think the biggest thing is you joined 2023, Wes. You're like back with power and everything. Like that's the best thing, right? Is actually having power and feeling like, oh man, this is a good technological age, I guess. I don't know. I think we take power for granted.
So how have you been?
Really need power? Really?
Nah, who needs power? We have plenty of batteries here. You know who else has plenty of batteries?
My mom. I hope so.
Does Bobo batteries work in those things?
I don't know.
The Bobo batteries they're a lifesaver in those things. Let me tell you.
I bet.
That's true.
I will tell you really quick off topic one thing. Bobo batteries with your PlayStation VR2 controllers will charge and work at the same time.
Yeah, because I was seeing that
fallacy that it doesn't work, and it's been proven, and I did it myself.
I was seeing it with Linus's video that everybody was talking about in the chat today. He was talking about how you couldn't recharge the controllers, and I was like, Eric, said that you can.
100%.
A lot of people have said that. And I plugged them right into my console, and you know, I didn't play a game with them, but I was running through the menus while they were charging, no problem.
I did it myself, and also Creeper Betty did it. We played like several sessions. She went from almost 0 bars on her right controller to 3 bars on half a Bobo battery while she was playing.
Wow,
nice. Confirmed. Debunking these myths about our beloved PlayStation VR2. Ruuts, I'm gonna have to change the intro up, man, because I always go to Eric first, and then you know, my plan is always to come back to you, but we never wait for that. We just always I say hi to Eric every week, and we just go. How are you being, Ruuts?
We got to go Ruuts first. He's the man. Ruuts deserves the pedestal.
I don't.
He's got the beard. Look at him.
I do have the beard, and I'm doing good except for I took a nap, a little nappy earlier, and I woke up and you guys can appreciate this. I can't, but I haven't had bed hair for a decade, but beard hair is a nightmare, dude. Like it's it's messed
Fall
up.
asleep eating a candy bar and you just wake up with it stuck to your face. It's a nightmare.
Yeah. I don't need any chocolate on my face, that's for sure.
So did these storms touch either of you guys? I imagine it would have been snow for you, Eric, if it made it there.
It was. We got like 8-10 inches of snow.
Wow. Yeah, we got some snow here, but not where I'm at. Like Colorado mountains did. I was just telling Eric, it's like 55 degrees here, sunny, everything's melted. But all that's, man, California's the story with snow, man. Like I lived there growing up and there was no snow like what's going on now. That's pretty crazy. Or I guess
it makes me crave a little ice cold brewed refreshment from the Rocky Mountain taste of the Silver Bullet Coors Light.
Yeah. I heard they're getting their waterfront now from Ohio, so I wouldn't drink it.
That's closer to West.
Dude, I'm legit scared about that. Like, they said that we're fine, but I mean, they say a lot of stuff. They told those people that live there that they're fine, and they have rainbow in their rivers, dude. Like literally rainbow rivers, and they're like, nothing to see here. Going home and everything's fine.
The problem with them saying anything is they say what they want until they need to say what they need to say, and then all of a sudden it's completely different than what they've been telling you. That's why I tell people I don't drink tap water for a long time. I haven't for a while, because every time I've heard a story where the water's been bad, they've been telling the people that it's fine for months, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, you shouldn't have been drinking that. Like, oh, really? Okay,
whoops.
Well, yeah, whoops. It's just a little too sketch. I miss the days when I grew up. I feel like, and everybody always says that. Dude, when I was a kid, I drank out of the hose. Yeah, so did I.
Yep.
But everything wasn't as fucked up as it is now either. So,
that's right.
You know who else likes to drink out of the hose?
My mom. different beverage there, but yeah, I heard she does.
Genesee Plus is gross beer. She must not like Coors. She must not be a Coors Light fan.
I I haven't drank for like 2 years. I drink like if I was thinking about this when you guys went to Vegas and stuff, I would have been the odd man out because I wouldn't have been drinking because I just don't like the way it makes my body feel. Like my body does not like alcohol. And so like I've found that I would rather not drink it than deal with feeling weird. And so like,
that's what I thought.
I don't drink either, but Wes, he kept pushing them on me.
That's I heard Wes was the instigator, right? He's like, dude, you got to drink one more, man.
Yeah, you know me. No, I'm the same way, Ruuts. I probably hadn't drinking anything in much longer than 2 years. Like it had been a long time, because it makes me tired. It typically just makes me sleepy, makes me want to go to bed. Even just one beer, typically, just I'm done. Or at least that's what I thought. Because when I got to Vegas, I drank the whole time I was there, and I never even got trashed from it. I just felt good and social. I think there's a difference between drinking out in public like that and drinking at home. At home, I would have been done quickly, but when I was there, it was just what we all did, you know.
Well, altitude has something to do with it as well, right? Because I know when I went to Oklahoma one time, it was like I tried to drink and I couldn't really get too much of a buzz because I'm at a higher altitude and like it takes more. It's kind of like the opposite. If you go up to a higher altitude, it takes less to get drunk, I guess. That's the rumor anyway. But I don't know.
But yeah, this storm came through and it blew out our power at the absolute worst time. I'm trying to make time to play VR this week, and I almost got there. For those of you who don't know, I started doing some work with Impact Reality. My friends Eric and, of course, Skiva and Jasmine, helping them serve one of their clients. You might have heard of them, Ghost of Tabor. Awesome game, and an awesome alpha, I guess I should say. We don't even know what the final game is going to be like yet. But I've been busy with that all week, auditing their Discord and trying to learn how to set up a few bots and things. And literally, when I finally get to the point where I think I can contribute something and I can do something worthwhile, my power goes out. So not only can I not do the work that I've been, putting time into all week and get that finished, but also I can't even play my freaking PlayStation VR, man. It's a nightmare.
That is a nightmare. What could be worse is you could be getting ready to leave town for a couple months or a month and a half, right?
Don't let him fool you, Ruuts, man. Even though he didn't have power, he was diving in like crazy, getting shit done. I knew that this would happen. You know what I mean? Like I was telling, when Skiva and Jasmine and I sat down and we talked about like we need help. Like we're scaling so fast that we need help. We need help, and we need somebody who's knowledgeable about VR, who's passionate about VR, who can get in here like us and just take off and do shit. And I'm like, that's Wes. Wes will do it. He'll attack it and kick ass. And he was too, man. He was like running from tornadoes, working on his phone, working from a laptop from his mother-in-law's house. And I knew he would get this stuff done.
That's crazy.
Well, I want to get this stuff done.
We're happy to have him.
I want to be able to. I've put way too much time into it this week, but I know how important the client is. I want to get this stuff done, or at least set up, so that then maybe I can coast for a little bit and play some VR. But and we were almost there. But never frail friends. I think we're going to get on top of that in the morning. So we'll have a good solid 3 days of playtime in before Wednesday's episode gets here.
I went into Ghost of Tabor and it was weird because I was doing the wiggle to see if anybody was hacking, like in the Tarkov video that I watched. And nobody was doing it. How crazy is that? I hope that's one of the things that I do like about VR. And I'm not saying that there's not like cheaters or hackers or whatever, but it's not as prevalent as it is with flag gaming. Like, because I don't know if you guys actually watched the full video. I watched Asmongold's breakdown of it where he, interjected some in there as well. But it just was crazy to me how many people are cheating in that game. And now I know why we would die all the time, MASH. It wasn't because we sucked. It was because everybody's cheating. That's what I want to think anyway.
No, me too. It was never us.
It was never us.
It was never us as we were laughing our ass off and couldn't even basically stand up as we were, or said, do anything as we were watching Radio Route and Jim Hall trying to pass ammo between each other.
That is some of the funniest shit. Watching somebody drop something on the ground and it's rolling and the person's trying to grab it. And of course you're sitting there and you're like, dude, like we can't be standing here anymore. Like we're going to die. And we're like, oh, I got to get this ammo. Too funny.
You know what killed me? Killed me more than anything when I was playing Tabor? Ladders. falling
you
off
gotta
ladders.
Be careful with ladders.
Yeah. That's why I was so excited the other day when they were talking about working on the grip mechanics. I'm like, I hope that extends to ladders too.
I think it
because
will.
they're lethal.
It needs to be a little bit more, a little bit harder to fall off of, because right now it's like, because those ladders, there's a lot to climb, right? And you got to go pretty high at some points. So, and now I don't know. One thing I don't know about that game, MASH, and you probably know a little bit more. Does it? Because I know that when I fell off, I fell pretty far and I injured myself really bad, but I don't feel like I broke bones. Do they have broken bones? And I mean, does it go into that much depth, or is it just you took damage and now you got to heal?
Not yet that much damage, and I don't know if they're going to probably go that deep. They might. I don't know the exact detail of like how far they want to go. I mean, initially, I think you're going to take, you'll have damage to your body, and you'll have damage to where I think you'll continue to die unless you heal. But you definitely don't heal over time. Like, so if you damage yourself enough, I know you won't be able to like run anymore. So like, I know it may not give you a limp like animation like Tarkov does, but I know you won't be able to run anymore. And then you won't have any stamina. And I know that if you hurt yourself bad enough, you'll actually just die. You'll just die in raid if you don't heal yourself. So I don't know how deep, like you want to be as Tarkov as much as you can, but we say it all the time with VR. Yeah, it's still VR, right? So you can't. It's not even that you can't do it in VR. I think it's that you shouldn't do it. Like, you don't want to be. We talked about this right before the show. You can't do everything you want to because maybe it doesn't work. It doesn't make sense for VR. Like, do you want to get that involved in VR and where you're in a headset having to do all those tiny little things? It just might not make that much sense to do it. So I think if you go to you want to go as close as you possibly can, and then maybe just back it off just a little bit to where it makes more sense just for the platform.
Yeah, true. And it's not Tarkov. It's its own game. So
yeah,
here's a great thing. It's in alpha. There's still, it's got miles to go before it reaches its final form, and these guys are awesome about fielding feedback. They have a whole channel on their Discord just for suggestion threads, and people make full use of it too. So if there's something that you want to suggest about the game after you play the alpha, which by the way goes live this week, or it's scheduled to go live sometime this week, join their Discord and just say it. And if it's something that enough people feel passionately about, they'll put it in there.
Yeah.
Anyway, super excited and blessed to my first assignment working with Impact was such a great game. So thank you, Eric, for and thank you to Jasmine and Skiva for pulling me in at the perfect time, because I could tell you it wouldn't be nearly as cool if I were working on some half-baked AFLAB title or something. Like, this is an awesome game, and I'm excited to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. No, we're super stoked to have you, and it's going to mean a lot to us too. So we're so happy.
Anyway, you guys, the PlayStation VR Love Fest has continued on, but we did get a little bit of news regarding Meta, and man, it's a bit cliche to say that they're having a fire sale, but they're literally having a fire sale right now. The Quest Pro has received a price cut by 1/3 4 months after it's launched. The Quest 2, the 256 gigabyte version, which they just increased the price of a couple months ago, they have now reverted back, and they've cut the price of that. And we've got the roadmap going forward, and we've learned some really cool stuff about Quest 3. It is what we thought it's going to be, or at least it appears like it's going to be what Brad says it's going to be. Go figure. But much thinner and lighter, twice as powerful as a Quest 2, but also more expensive. And Eric, I thought this was very interesting. I think that it's pretty obvious now that at least for the first year after Quest 3 comes out, it's not going to replace Quest 2. Like, Quest 2 is still going to be on the shelf right next to this thing. This is just going to be a step up for people who want a clear upgrade path.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, we were going over it the other night, and I kind of like started like thinking about and I actually almost changed my mind directly in the middle of my stream on Thursday, in the middle of the show, because I started out going, I don't exactly understand what Meta's doing here, and as I was thinking about it and going through it like live, I'm like, you know what? Maybe this does make sense. Maybe a enhanced version of this Quest 3 that is more for tech people and more for enthusiasts, that's a little bit more money, makes more sense, and then you come out with a light later on that's a little bit cheaper. That way the Quest 2 is still good, it's still viable, you can sell both at the same time. It makes sense. The Quest Pro is like in limbo. That headset's still a non-factor to me. To me, they could even almost stop selling it once they kind of like try and get through whatever stuff they have, because do you want 4 headsets going at the same time? I don't think that makes sense. I think it gets way too muddy at that point. So to me, I think when they launch Quest 3, it would be a good idea to like stop selling the Quest Pro at that point. And then, have the Quest 2, have the Quest 3, and then in the fall or whenever it launches, in 2024, the Quest 3 Lite or whatever they're going to call it, the lower priced version. And then you can start to say goodbye to selling the Quest 2 at that point. But yeah, I mean, to me, I think it's a better path than I thought it was originally.
Yeah, I think that they'll leave Pro on the market just because that's their one that has the eye tracking and the face tracking, and these are the features that they really want to build their social platform around, which always has been their ultimate goal. But I agree with your assessment here. I think Quest 2 and Quest 3 will spend a year together on store shelves, and then they'll come out with the light version of Quest 3, which will have a jock strap and be made out of cardboard. But it'll probably be like crazy cheap, like maybe even $250, like cheap. At that point, I think they'll leave Quest 2 on the market for a few months, but I don't think anyone will be buying them. But I think they'll continue to support Quest 2 with software for years to come. I think it's got at least another year or two left after that point. But Ruuts, here we've got a super lightweight headset coming this year. Something more akin to goggles than an actual like VR helmet, as so many people like to call them. It's got twice as much processing power, so that's more than enough to give us some pretty PC quality stuff in a standalone. And then on top of that, they have the mixed reality functionality worked into it, which I'm sure will be even better than the Pro at that point. $500 for all of that, is that a appealing package to someone like you?
I think so. This is the thing, man. Like a lot of people talking about the Quest Pro for $1,000, and they're like, "Wow." I wonder if Joshua Taylor's message was actually bad, or did Radio Run actually?
I think he did it by mistake. I don't see anything. I'm looking back at him now because you can look at him.
We better fix that, Radio Run, because you're gonna get him hidden.
He must have said something about Mira.
No, he just basically said he'd rather get a second PS5 for portability, and then Radio Run's like, "Fuck you."
He needs Radio Run. You need to unhide him, Radio Run, or we'll never be able to. Like, we can't do it. The mod who did it has to do it, so you better unhide him.
Yeah. Oh, I can do it.
He's lost forever. Oh, can you do it?
I can.
Yeah.
You used to not be able to do it.
There we go.
Boom. There we are.
Go.
Hey, what's up, Joshua Taylor?
Yeah, Radio Run's like, he's dropping the hammer, bro. He's like, I don't. He's like, they saying something bad. I'm gonna get rid of him right now.
Well, actually, Spry Guy just hit him again. He unhit him, and then
what the hell, man?
What is going on?
He's undoing what you're doing, Wes.
What's going on with Joshua Taylor? Is he saying some shit that we don't know about?
No. He actually was good. I don't know, as far as I can see.
I unhit him again. Hopefully that
crossing fingers. Yeah, no. My thing is, it's weird. What's weird is the Quest Pro is like, people were talking about it's $1,000. The way that they dropped it, the price, rose it, and then dropped it for good to $1,000, which is still overpriced. Better, but especially with the news of the Quest 3, that's just around the corner, that's going to be half the price. And I don't care about their eye tracking, and this is why, because they're not doing anything with it. You know what I mean? Like with the PlayStation VR, like 2, it makes sense because they've already using it in a lot of games, and I don't know anybody or any developers that are really using it for the Quest Pro, and maybe, but I mean, again, there's one headset. So that does it. So it's almost like it's just an unneeded item. And I don't have as much optimism about the Quest 2 lasting as long as they say, because I remember them making maybe not the same comments about Quest 1, but somewhat similar. And then all of a sudden that thing fucking died out of nowhere. And they just said, we're removing it. So I'm not saying that it won't stick around, but I could see a case where all of a sudden it just stops being sold as well. So most likely not, but who knows?
Did you know Walmart's making accessories for it now? Like you can buy a generic Walmart branded head strap for it, and they have carrying cases and
really
for the Quest 2.
Yeah, for Quest 2.
Wow.
Well, let me ask you this: is their head strap better than the OG?
Probably.
The one that cracked all the time?
Yeah, you can make fun of that one, but that's the most comfortable one that I've ever had. Like that one was the one I preferred. It just would break all the time.
They just the plastic they used, man. Whatever they did, they didn't make it, solid enough to be able to the pressure points. It just cracked. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't know. It's just crazy.
Ruuts, I'm still with you on the Pro, by the way. I mean, I know I've been the one defending the Pro all along, but I always said I think it's a great headset. I just don't think it's worth the money. Like, I wouldn't recommend anybody buy it, and still at $1,000, I don't recommend anybody buy it. You know what I mean? Like, if you can get one, if you have the money and you have the expendable money and you want to go get one to replace your Quest 2, go get it. But I mean, to me, it still needs to be like, I don't even know what it would be now if it was $500 or $600, maybe.
Oh yeah, because if it was at that price, for sure, because the clarity of it and the controllers, and I get that controllers are $300 alone. So I mean, how cheap can they go? But somebody had said this before, and I kind of feel this way. Why not just get the Quest 3 and the Quest Pro controllers if you really want to, and it's still cheaper. And the only thing you're losing is the eye tracking, and you're getting double the power. So it'd be like you going out and buying a video card today, knowing that there's a brand new one coming out that's going to be twice as powerful for cheaper in 6 months. Who's going to do that? Like it's just a weird, very weird spot. And it makes me think that it's more, everything they're doing seems to be more reactionary than, they're reacting to everything around them. And it's kind of making them look kind of bad, like, I don't know. It's a weird thing.
What if you're getting into PCVR, Eric? Like somebody got their PlayStation VR2, they're absolutely in love with VR. They want to upgrade. Do you go Valve Index for $1,000, or do you go Quest Pro for $1,000?
That's to me, that's the question. And I think now I would probably go with the Quest Pro at that point, because to me, because that is the question. That's where I say, when what you're looking to buy, because then it's not a standalone headset anymore, and then it's a PCVR headset that also does standalone, and that's where the value is, because you can't get that from your Valve Index, and the Valve Index, you got to remember, is quite a bit of older hardware. You don't get the face and eye tracking in it. You don't get the mixed reality in it, even though it's limited, but you still get it.
Controllers suck.
The controllers are not great. You have to have inside-out tracking. So to me, I mean, to me right now, it's the decision: do I go XR Elite, or do I go, Quest Pro? I don't think. To me, that's the Valve Index. I cannot believe they have not discounted that price yet. How old is the Valve Index now? Is that 3 years old?
3 years, I believe. Right.
And they have not dropped that a penny since that launched.
Yeah, they don't need to.
It's a little weird.
I mean, how many do you think you're still selling right now, though?
The only good point about getting the Valve Index, and they've clearly shown that they're not going away from the base stations, is you still have the base stations for because how many headsets have we had where it was like that's came out and it's like, oh hey, if you had the base stations already, this headset's actually reasonably priced. It's just without it, base stations, everything else added in, it's way more expensive. So you kind of, for someone like me or Wes, it's like, okay, that's too much money. But someone like Eric that's already got the base stations, you're in there, like even the headset at the Index is only what, 500 without the controllers or without the
it's the controllers and the base stations that are most expensive in it. But where people are saying in chat, wait for the Quest 3, that's probably almost what I would do now, even if you're looking for PC VR, because from what we've heard, you're not going to be getting a compressed signal on that headset. You're going to get a true, DisplayPort signal in there, and I think that's going to be the better way to go. But here's my bigger question. This Quest Lite that we're talking about, Do you think to keep that price down, they ship that thing? This was something we talked about on Thursday. Do you think they ship that thing without controllers?
Maybe. I mean,
think
they
about how
want
much
to go
cheaper
that direction.
Because here's the thing. Because I thought we started talking about this and everybody's like, no way, they can't ship it without controllers. How do they do it? There's no way you can do it. Well, number one, if they shipped it with 10 other new games that just do hand tracking, which I think they probably would, there's a ton more games that you'd be able to play with it. Two, you could, if they made it compatible with your Quest 2 controllers, so then you could just use your Quest 2 controllers or the Quest 3 controllers. Then you could just go purchase them and upgrade if you wanted to. Then you don't have to worry about that. Then it's just the new consumer, right? And that new consumer may not know any better that you need controllers, and they can still do hand tracking. And then they get in there and go, yeah, I would want the controllers. And then they offer Quest 2 controllers that you can buy for whatever price. You know what I mean? They probably have them made pretty easily now. You still have the Quest 3 controllers you could do. That way you could keep that price at like $250.
They could probably go 200 if they didn't bundle controllers with it. We're talking about the light version that has that's going to have a crap strap on it and make some concessions in terms of build quality. They could probably sell that for $199. And you're right, they could sell or as long as they support like the older Quest controllers, they could do that. And as long as controllers are available to buy from launch. They could get away with it, and you guys know it's not about what people actually do in practice. It's about that visual, right? That being able to say it's $199. This gets people talking. This makes people believe that it's affordable because you know when they did $299 for Quest 2, which was an like literally unbelievable price at the time. Everyone who bought one knows that it was more like $399 after you bought the VR cover, face gasket, and a strap replacement. You're talking about 400 plus at that point. But you know that wasn't the headline. That was not what anybody said. Even us here on this channel were telling people, "Hey, you can afford it. It's only $299." So if they do that, like, I hope they don't. Honestly, hope that they don't, but they could because it's been while it's been a boon to the industry overall by creating interest in VR, it's had a negative effect on like the rest of the industry by creating unrealistic expectations for how much the hardware should cost, right? So,
but if you have levels now, I think it's closer. Like we had to be before, it was $299 or it was $700. You know what I mean? But if you have levels now, I think you're closer. So like, if you're like $199 or $200, and then you still have say this new Quest 3 is going to be $500, then you have closer levels to get to. It was when you had such a huge divide, and that's where I think it got people's expectations like crazy. Like like every headset from now on is going to be $200 or $300. But I think if you have levels, like it makes sense to do it as long as you don't get crazy with it, where you have 15 different levels of headsets. But if you have a headset that's at $200 and you have one at $500 and you have the Pro at what if they do keep it and it ends up being like $750 or $800, eventually when it lands at its final price, because I guarantee you at $1,000, that is not the final landing place for that headset, I bet.
$750 would actually be worth it. Because now your headset's, well, assuming that the controllers are worth $300, but now your headset's $450. And you know what I mean? You're starting to look at, I would be looking at it differently. Just because everybody says the lenses are so clear and so good, but I still couldn't make myself pick it up with the Quest 3 with double the power. I mean, that's the processing power. Like even with just the games that exist already, how much better are they going to run on that without even talking about new games built for it, or enhanced versions. And it's a totally different conversation.
But mixed reality Beat Saber, bro. Come on.
Oh, that's what I. Well, this is the thing. I'm not even excited about mixed reality for the most part, anyway, because my whole thing was getting into this fantasy world. I don't want to look at my shitty bedroom, dude. Like you know what I mean? I don't need to see my environment, and I think most people are that way. Like it's a weird thing because I can see that it could be really cool. Well, okay, It would be cool. Okay, so this is the thing. I've seen videos of people and they're playing Demio and they're seeing the other people and they're seeing the board and they're seeing the other people, but the pass through that you're seeing the other people, it looks like the shitty pass through that you looking at other people. The PlayStation VR2, the pass-through is so much better than the Quest 2s, and or I guess I'm probably even the Quest Pro, because that's what it was. That, you know, if it was like real time and it really everything looked the same, then maybe. But I don't know. I'm not sold on mixed reality. I still feel like we're way far away from that being a really viable thing, maybe a year or two. And I could be wrong. I know there's some experiences or games like Demio or whatever that would be cool at the same time, but I'm happy being in the dark in this closed off environment where I'm completely immersed in this thing. I don't need to be looking at my bedroom. To me, it's weird.
It's a cool gimmick, but it's a cool gimmick. Like, I had a chance to very limited opportunity to check out Quest Pro as well as the Vive XR Elite when I was in Vegas. And Eric, I mean, you could see that it's at least at this stage, it's still just a gimmick, but it's a pretty freaking cool gimmick, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think the reason that we're like, well, we don't want it or we don't need it is because they haven't given us a reason to want it or need it yet, right? They haven't shown us enough. Like, you know, the things that we have seen, Wes, 99% of the people haven't had a chance to see yet. That's the problem. Like, if I put Yuki in mixed reality in front of everybody's face and they were playing it and they see these portals open up in their own house, and you know the Yokalians start coming through there and you're using Yuki and you're shooting in 360 and it's amazing. Excuse me. Or you're doing some of these other experiences like, you know, the Maestro one, which is super cool, and you know, your windows opens up into your own room, and then all of a sudden you start to mix back and forth between VR. Then it's your environment that fades into VR and it goes back and forth. Then I think it can be really cool, but the problem is we don't have enough of them yet. I'm hoping when the Vive XR Elite launches, I think there's a good chance that we're going to have a bigger lineup of mixed reality stuff to make people excited about it. And, you know, I hope that's the case. But that's it. Give us a reason to want to be excited about it. You know, I guarantee if we gave Ruuts 20 games that were super cool that he could get into, you like VR, and I'm sure you would be like, oh, that's super cool. But if we give you no reason to ever want to switch over, why would you want to?
Right.
You know, why would you give a shit about it?
And my biggest thing too is like exactly what I was saying and what somebody in the chat was agreeing, that it just needs to look crisp. The what I'm seeing of my environment needs to be as good, if not better, than what I'm seeing in VR. Otherwise, I'm looking through a blurry window. I don't know. It just like you said, I've been in VR for 5, almost 6 years, and I'm over gimmicks. VR for a few years, and still in some ways is still a gimmick. And I want to get past that. You know what I mean? I never go into a flat AAA game and I feel like, this is kind of a gimmick. No, it's a fucking amazing game experience that blows me away. And there's no gimmick in it. That's where I want VR to get. So.
Yeah. Do you remember when Magic Leap came out, Ruuts, and they had that the one interesting title on it where the monsters all came out of the wall and you were trying to shoot them, but it didn't really work because they were all ghosty and you could see through them and stuff.
Killer whale jumped to the gym floor.
Yeah, that's what they made Yuki into, and it was really cool the way they came out of the wall and the things were all kind of floating through your space. I dig it. It was good, and plus again, that was on the Vive headset. Which the had better pass through on it than the Quest Pro does.
Yeah, I think at some point it's going to be a big thing. I just think that we're a year or two or more away from it, just depending on how quickly developers develop for it. Because that's the thing too, is there's not many developers developing for it. Now there are. I mean, Demio is one of the best games I've played, and the fact that they've got a mixed reality is amazing. That'd probably be one of the only ones that I would be interested in checking out at this point. So.
All right, and with that concludes our mandatory non-PlayStation VR content for the week.
Holy crap, I didn't think we were going to be able to do it. That was pretty good, man. Did it feel forced? I don't know. Did it feel forced for you guys?
I didn't feel forced.
Definitely.
You know who loves it when it feels forced?
My mom!
Yeah, she
does. So, yeah, I can't wait to dive in and start talking about some of these awesome PlayStation VR2 games that are coming up. But before we do that, where are our manners? Let's say hello to our friends in chat. Funky Sloth is here. What's up, Funky Sloth? I didn't hear what you just said. Hopefully it wasn't
Bruce
important.
just he had to take off for a minute, but he'll be right back.
Oh, okay. Decepticon is here. It says Space Pirate Arena as well. Do you know I never tried the Space Pirate Arena? I would like if I had the Pro. I probably would be all about it.
Yeah.
Shades of Gray Matter is here, as is Virtual Events. What up? He says, yeah, Ruuts is on point. Just hone in on some amazing game experience. I think there's going to be amazing game experiences. I think there's a reason why Meta's stable of studios have been quiet for a year. I think it's because they're working on next gen games for their next gen hardware. So
yeah, and I can tell you this: every headset manufacturer is looking at AR and mixed reality. So we're going to see it. You know what I mean? And so it's whether we think it's Meta pushing this or not. I guarantee it. Like Vive is pushing this. Pico will be pushing mixed reality. We are going to see more mixed reality, not less. So if you're like, well, if mixed reality is in there, I don't want to be a part of it. You're in trouble because it's coming whether you want it or not.
Yeah.
Jenna Sequa in the chat says the only thing I'd use MR for is to go get a drink without having to take the headset off. Well, imagine if you're Ruuts and you could go into your headset and still see your Warcraft on the screen.
That would be cool.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Our friend Gamertag VR is in the chat. What's up, GT? He says this month is looking sweet for games. I don't even want to think about it, dude. Like I'm not halfway through my launch lineup for PSVR2, and now we've got all these other awesome games coming. It's a nightmare.
I mean, one of them just came out today. CoasterMania, dude. I got to check that one out.
There you go. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. Michelle B is here. Laggy, I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm sorry. Welcome. Thomas McNostrils here. I should probably start scrolling at this point. Lucky Sangera says, keep up the great work, guys. Yeah, RE4 on PSVR2. Hells yes. Thank you for the, what is that? $2 donation. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Decepticon is here, as is Thomas McNostril. See, I haven't started scrolling yet, so I'm just keep.
You better scroll.
Yeah, Looper's here. As is Kill Artist 1, the Dreamweaver Gamecat. Hello. Okay, now I'm scrolling. Lesser Logic is here. Wolveraza. Hello, our friend Paradise Decay. Hello. Bacardi B is here. Mepper says, and only 45 minutes into the show.
Yeah, oh, well, there you go.
You know how we do, bro.
Well, what's funny is Wes was like, hey, he said this before, I'm going to do my best to get done with this in a certain amount of time. And that's just not how it works, Wes. Like, it just doesn't work that way.
I'm extending my break. The only problem is after my break, I have to go to like real work, and it's going to suck. Mm-hmm. Funky Sloth is here. Gear, what up? Good to see you. Tatum's here. What's up, Tatum? Daniel Kaz is here. Matty Fat Batcat says Valve needs the money. Oh, so that makes sense. Why the index is still $1,000.
Distract says flat gaming as a whole is its own gimmick to him now. It's bland, absolutely ruined by microtransactions and free-to-play mechanics. Older games are good as it's going to get for flat. But this is the thing, then you're playing the wrong games, because Elden Ring didn't have any microtransactions and was one of the best games I played. That Harry Potter game, also the same, one of the best games I've played. Actually, I've said this before, but the best games I played last year were all flat. But there are a lot of games that are ruined by microtransactions and free to play. And usually when a game goes free to play, that's when I'm done, because that's usually when the game falls apart. But there's a few exceptions with that. Fortnite's one of them. Fall Guys is another one. Some games have gotten better with free to play, but usually that's the death nail for a game. Absolutely.
Watt Marin is in the chat, or Matt Warren. I just blew his cover, guys. It's actually Matt Warren. It says, hey, Wes, I'm playing Light Brigade on your recommendation and loving it. Thanks. Well, thank you. We sold so many people on that game. Like, we've talked about it across all of our platforms, and deservedly so. It's a great game. But I don't think, we were genuinely built some excitement for that, building it up before it released. And I really love the reaction that we've gotten. A lot of people have bought it, again, we did the giveaway last week. By the way, Mepper, you won the giveaway. You got a key in your in your chat or Discord, so go pick it up. But that giveaway, I mean, that was our most entered giveaway I think that we've ever had outside of our end of the year show, which is just massive. So the reception for the Light Brigade has been awesome, and I want to thank everybody who listens to us and gives us that kind of credibility.
I think Eddie has a big part. Eddie, he was such a good guest to come in and just was so knowledgeable on it, and yeah, such a good game.
Agreed. Who else is here? Simplex. Hello, Simplex. Thanks for staying up and hanging out with us. I need to get a new mouse. My scroll wheel is not working all the time anymore. It's annoying.
That is so annoying. I can't stand that.
Carl Parker says Index dropped in 2019. It did. Fluke Rogi is here.
That's crazy, dude. 4 years. Yeah. That was before the world went crazy. Man, what a good time 2019 was.
4 more years. 4 more. No, please don't. Please not 4 more years.
No, 4 more years of what the last couple of years have been like. I like to say life is full of excitement, good and bad, and last couple of years have been so exciting. We kind of need no more excitement for a little bit. Give me time to breathe, please.
How not to play is in the chat. What up? Matty Fat Bat Cat. I think we already said hello to. What's up, Matt? Josh Taylor is here, and Unhidden. Good to see you back in among the living. Distracted. What's up, Ted? Good to see you. Michelle B. Hello. Ryan Brannon. Hello. Who else? D-Rail. What's up, D-Rail?
Yeah, D-Rail. We need to get in. I was talking to Wes and Mash about getting into some Demio soon. I know Wes didn't have power, but maybe over the next, I don't know, week or so, we can all make it happen. Get into some PlayStation VR2.
I would love it.
Demio.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're still kind of tossing around what we're going to cover this Wednesday. Maybe we'll cover Demio.
Yeah, that would be cool. And plus, we get to hang out with D-Rail. It's win-win.
Yeah, it's been too long.
So VR Spry Guy's in the chat, and I'd like to point out that my son Brody shares a birthday with VR Spry Guy. Today's Brody's birthday. Happy birthday,
wow.
Brody.
Happy birthday, Spry Guy.
Yeah, happy birthday, Brody and Spry Guy.
Yeah. Kyle Kitchings is here. What's up, Kyle? Black Market Honey with us as well.
Mickey Bear says his controllers have been intermittently cutting off for the PlayStation
Some people
VR2.
have been having that.
Yeah, Dr. Greg, right? He had to send his back. I thought I read on Twitter.
Really?
Yeah,
that's correct. Yeah, this is it's a problem that not many people are having, but some people are having.
That's the thing is like, nobody will have those issues and everybody say that's crazy. But when it's like anything else, when it's happening to you, it's real. No matter what everybody else is saying, if it's happening
it don't
to
matter
you,
if it's
if
it's only happening to one person, that's a fucking problem if the person's you, right?
Absolutely. It's even worse because it's like, why me, man? That's bullshit.
Well, I just would like to say to Dr. Greg that mine worked perfectly. So,
yeah, I got mine.
Sorry
they
about
work.
your damn luck.
Well, my thing is I don't believe you, Dr. Greg. Like mine worked fine. No, I'm just kidding. That's the take that's crazy, right? Some people are like, this is kind of stupid. This isn't real. Like, dude, I'm telling you, mine's cutting out. Because I thought I saw some people actually saying that on Twitter, but maybe I'm wrong.
Oh, you're probably right. The trolls are everywhere, friend.
Yeah.
Space Dennison is among our friends. What's up? Boognish66 is here as well. Carl Parker, I think I already said hello to. Lee VR. What up? He says more than 2 beers and I'm paying for it the next day. So like, if we have more than 2 beers, you'll buy the beers the next day.
Let's go.
Deal. I'm in. Let's go. Does that include shots too?
Oh God.
You and your shots. Stay the hell away from me.
Dude, in Vegas, when we at CES in Vegas, all of a sudden I'm doing a shot. And I'm like, who the hell bought these shots, man? I don't want to be doing shots. And Wes looks at me and goes, you fucking bought them.
Oh God, dude. That is funny.
They buy these weird shots too. Like you would think, like they say, let's do a shot. I'm expecting to walk up to a shot of whiskey or something. There's these weird pink shots and green ones. And
was anybody's wives there doing shots? Because you're not doing straight whiskey. It's gonna be some kind of weird foo fucking shot. Usually.
Yeah. Well, there was a whole lot of that going around for sure.
Oh yeah.
Chasing it with beer. What's up? Who else is here? Greg's VR's here. What's up? He says, been a minute since I caught one of these live. Yeah, good to see you, Greg. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Hell yeah.
GT wants to know if anyone's buying the XR Elite. You guys buying the XR Elite?
It's tempting, man. I'm not, because so much other stuff's about to drop, and all I'm playing right now is PlayStation VR anyway. But unlike the conversation we were having a moment ago about Quest Pro as a PC VR headset, you can tether your XR Elite and play wired PC VR with it, which I know for some people is like, what the fuck? Why would I want to do that? Yeah, try it with and without, and you'll see why you would want to do that.
Yeah,
it's an excellent headset. I have one coming, otherwise to review. Otherwise, I probably would think about buying it. But that's one of the only reasons I'm not. I will have one to review, but I think it's an excellent headset. It's Hubris on that headset, standalone, not PCVR. This is standalone. Hubris was one of the things that blew me away most at the whole show.
It was amazing. It really was great. It wasn't like one for one with the PC version, but it looked like it could be a PC game. Like it was very impressive. Anyway, Boy Brown just joined us. It wouldn't let me scroll anymore. Mickey Barrios. I can't scroll any further. So if I missed you, I apologize. Welcome, friends, one and all. Thanks for hanging out with us this fine Sunday evening / night / morning, depending on where you're at. Anyway, let's get into some headlines. What do you say? Synapse for PSVR2 looks like an action-packed fever dream. This from Justin Diaz at AndroidHeadlines.com. If you snag the PSVR2 headset, you may want to keep an eye out for Synapse, an upcoming game from In Dreams, the creators of Fract, that was announced at this week's, or I guess at this point, last week's, PlayStation State of Play live stream on February 23rd. Synapse is a type of game where you play when you want an action-packed thrill ride. And judging by the trailer, that's exactly what you'll be getting. Synapse is a first-person shooter, so it's already off to a great start in terms of putting you right into the action. To make it more exciting, though, the developers added a neat twist. Your character also has telekinetic powers. As you progress, you can use this blend of super abilities and firepower to lay waste to your enemies. To make things even more interesting, your telekinesis powers are one-to-one motion controlled, using the eye tracking to enhance the aiming. Players will be able to launch, levitate, and smash enemies through destructible environments, In Dream says. When Sony finally revealed everything about the new VR headset last year, it confirmed the new controllers will incorporate some of PS5's DualSense controller features, namely the advanced haptic feedback and the adaptive triggers. Synapse, unsurprisingly, will use these features to enhance the gameplay experience. As InDreams puts it, so you can feel every moment. It was also developed with a unique art design to take advantage of the PSVR2's 4K HDR display. And what really makes this pop is the mix of monochromatic landscapes and enemies, while your powers and certain objects are flush with vibrancy and splashes of color. Synapse does not have an official release date yet, but you can wishlist it on the PlayStation Store. You can also check out the trailer if you want a sneak peek at the game. So Ruuts, we've known for a while that our friends over at InDreams have had something cooking for PSVR2. What we didn't know was whether or not it was going to be a cross-platform game or something that they developed specifically in mind of PlayStation VR2. And we have our answer, and it's pretty exciting, man, because what it's going to allow for is it's going to allow for the kind of customization and optimization that you typically only get with first-party titles. But this coming from a third-party all-star over at InDreams. I'm very, very excited about this game.
Yeah, I am too. And it's funny, somebody in the chat was saying, I think it was Wolvie, says, I like how they're acting like they're not going to bring this one to Quest as well. You know, I don't know. I mean, I guess it depends on how far they want to go. They're clearly developing it for the hardware of the PlayStation VR2, so there's nothing saying that after it's launched or alongside they couldn't create another version of it, unless they've came out and said they're not.
I mean, of course they would bring it to Quest because that's exactly what they did with Fract.
Yeah,
right.
No
way.
Yeah, where's that?
Yeah.
So I could see it coming to PC, and maybe they do water it down and bring it to Quest, or maybe Quest 3 is, capable of replicating something like this.
That's true.
But that's all. Yeah, it's all well and good, Eric, because all I really care about is that it's designed around the PSVR2 features. If they want to do another light version that doesn't have all this stuff, that's fine. I know where I'll be playing it at.
Yeah, I hope that every game gets to be on both platforms. We know that's not going to happen, but I want it to be on every platform. We know that everybody's not going to own every platform. So do I want people to experience a game on every platform? Sure I do. I want everybody to do it. But do I want things built into the PlayStation VR2 version to be special for that platform and take advantage of what that platform offers? I absolutely 100% do. So as long as they're okay with doing those things, I'm all for bringing them to every platform. I want everybody to be able to play these things.
Yeah.
When we first saw this during the State of Play a couple of weeks ago, the question, and it was a good question that was brought up, was I wonder if this is from the new Elevation team at InDreams. As we know, since the last gen, InDreams has opened up multiple new studios, and the quality level of these graphics make it look like this could be from Elevation, which is their new AAA focused studio that they opened up in Japan. But this is not. This is from Vanilla InDreams. These are the people that brought us Phantom Covert Ops. These are the people who brought us Fract. And I, for one, Ruuts, take some confidence from that.
Yeah, because Fract is one of the best games I've played. I mean, granted, it was a little bit short, and we wanted more. We wanted more of it. We wanted the story. That's a question too. Do you think it'll have a story or any? I mean, I know it's more of a roguelike, or at least it seems like that. Do you think they'll incorporate a story into this one or no?
I think it will be. I think there will be some storytelling going on here because there typically is within Dreams. But I do think it's a valid question to wonder how long the game's going to be, because they sold Fract like it was a full length game, and as you all know, it's 3 to 4 hours, and some people even shorter than that. And the Phantom Covert Ops, similar criticisms of that game, although there's a lot of replayability in it. The campaign itself, not very long to finish. So, Eric, I think that's kind of the biggest question mark with this one going forward is, are we going to get 2 hours in heaven, or are we going to get a actually full-length title from InDreams for once?
It's a good question. It's a real good question. I don't think we're up in the air at this point. We don't know how they, if they want. I think they took enough backlash from Fract, and Fract was passed over on enough awards because of that. Because I think they knew that they had a good enough game to possibly be up for certain games of the year, and it was passed over because of the length, or people didn't give it as good a review because of the length. So I think I hope they took a lot of that to heart, and they would have made it, made these a little bit longer now. But I do trust in Dreams, and that's why I very, very much look forward to this title. Like, when was the last time In Dreams did something that even Fract was a fantastic game? We wanted more of it. Like, I trust them to make good games, and this game looks freaking phenomenal, and they're a great studio, so why wouldn't this game be good? So I'm assuming automatically that this game is going to be amazing. I hope it's longer. I hope it does have a story. I hope it's a roguelike that does have a story to it. I want both. Give me it all. I mean, if it is a roguelike, I don't know if it is. It just looks like that one to me, like Ruuts said. It looks like it's going to be one. It could be. But if it is, I want a story. Give me some background. Give me some progression. Give me something to make it great. And I think it looks fantastic. And the art style looks awesome too.
All right, so I'm going to go check out the official PlayStation blog post on this just to kind of get a definitive answer on if they're selling this as a roguelite. But Ruuts, do you remember when Vader Immortal came out, and we were kind of heavily critical of the scope of the gameplay? There was one thing that kind of saved it, right?
The dojo, dojo.
The Jedi dojo. And do you remember how awesome it felt in that dojo, and even in the few parts, even in the campaign, where you were able to use your telekinesis and the force power? Imagine that now, but that's just your left hand. Your right hand has this badass weapon in it as you're making your way through these levels at a very quick pace. I like the concept here.
Yeah, it looks like the gameplay is going to be good. And my thing is, I'm curious to see how amazing it's going to look in the headset. Those colors looked really, really bright and vibrant, and just from but in a contrast, kind of like with Eddie's game with Light Brigade, right? It looks like it's kind of like a dark, black and white looking game, except for the colors that pop, at least from what the trailer and the picture. I think it should be pretty cool.
So scrolling through very quickly here, the PlayStation blog article on this, I'm not seeing anything about roguelike here. So this might be an actual written game here that you're working your way through, which makes it much more likely that there is going to be some story elements to it.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I know one thing, roguelike, story created, or story focused, either or. I'm super excited for this. I'm super excited to see how it plays. I'm super excited to see how it feels. I'm super excited, Eric, to see how this friggin' art is going to look like on that amazing OLED panel that PlayStation VR2 is sporting.
Hell yeah, man. It's so good. There's trade-offs with the OLED, and we've gone over the bad factors about it. The good factors are so freaking good, man. And now every game that I see that has an art style that is overly colorful, or that has dark, scenes in it, I am just excited for, man. I have become a huge fan of the color and the darks in this PlayStation VR2 headset, and I can't wait to see more stuff in it. I was telling you guys, I jumped into some stuff this morning just to get a look, because people were telling me some of these games look so damn good now that were, even Quest 2 games that look so much better now. And they do, man. They do. It's just everything looks so much better now. I cannot wait to see these colorful games, on this headset. So, Gamertag is saying that he thinks Covert Ops is their flagship. You think so, Wes?
Yeah, I agree with that. Actually, that's the best game I played from them, in my opinion.
Yeah. Interesting.
He also says, do you do you know who else? What is it? I forgot how he worded it. You know who else hates it when it's too short?
My mom.
There you go.
He said, "You know who else has no big issues with length?"
There you
go.
You guys have got me off my game now.
Yeah, the color. We were talking about the colors and the vibrancy of this headset with these games that look colorful.
I was just going to mention that just how spoiled we are now. Like over this past 10 days, Ruuts, the level's been kind of raised on what's possible for consumer VR gaming, and I don't know, man. I don't want to go back now.
Yeah, it's gonna be difficult, at least in some respects. PD says, anyone else had the feeling of the sun on their arms in No Man's Sky on PlayStation VR2? I have not. I've not gone into No Man's Sky, and I don't know if I'm going. This is one thing I wonder for you guys, like, because I was watching Gamer Tags talking about it in his short video the other day, and how it didn't look that much better. Like graphically, they didn't really. I mean, obviously, it must have been somewhat better, but I was shocked. Like, why would you not? It's like they don't have an update patch or something, or make it better. Like, and I don't know, man. This is a whole new hardware, and you have so many possibilities. I was expecting it to be like really sharp and amazing, and it wasn't. And I feel like a lot of devs, they're missing opportunities to really like shine. Like, can you imagine No Man's Sky on day one comes out and it's fucking clear, crisp, it looks phenomenal? Not the case.
Yeah. For what it's worth, it's not like super crisp on PC with the even jacked up all the way on the strong graphics card. It's still like, it's a beast of a game to run. You should see what it was like on PlayStation VR1. It was like, I haven't tried it on PSVR2, but I'm confident it's a pretty big upgrade over that.
Yeah.
Gamer takes his Ruuts watches me.
I watch videos if something catches my eye and I think it looks good, and your content's good, GT.
Yeah, agreed. I'll watch GT's videos too. I'm horrible though about I'm trying to remember to leave comments, because that's the only way anybody ever knows that you watch their stuff is if you comment on it or something.
That's true.
And I never leave comments, so I'm trying to make a concerted effort now, at least when I'm in there, just to at least say hi, say something, so people will know I was there. Anyway, Synapse is great, man. Like, this is one of my most highly anticipated releases this year now. What are you looking forward to more, Eric? Synapse or Ghostbusters?
Synapse. I don't know. So. I love the Ghostbusters IP. Like, I'm looking forward to that game, but I mean, I'm looking forward to both, but I mean, Ghostbusters got me worried, man. I just don't know if it's going to be a game for me. Now, Synapse looks like a game for me. Exactly. It's my type of game. There might be people out there that I feel like that a cartoony Ghostbusters game might be more for them. I just don't know. But to me, this game has got me excited, as do a couple of these games that we're going to talk about. I don't know. They're just more for me, I guess.
Speaking of which, that wasn't all that they revealed during last week's State of Play.
This may be hard to hear. The Empire will fall. Our galaxy will be plunged into 30,000 years of chaos and war.
Thank you for saving us the effort, Dragon.
We can't stop it. But there is a plan to save humanity. So, will you fight for a dying empire? Or help us to reach Foundation?
Iconic sci-fi series Foundation is getting a VR game. This from Kyle Melnick at VR Scout. Explore the edge of the Galactic Empire in this upcoming role-playing adventure for PSVR2, Quest, and Pico 4 VR headsets. Isaac Asimov's Foundation book series has served as the inspiration for many of the science fiction films, television, and video games that we enjoy today. So imagine our excitement when we learned that VR developer Archaeact is developing an original VR experience that will allow you to explore Asimov's epic story. The game is apparently based on the book series rather than the recent Apple TV adaptation, if that has any impact on your decision to purchase. According to an official release, Journey to Foundation is a role-playing adventure in which you play as Agent Ward, a spy sent by the Empire to infiltrate a group of deserters as a part of a clandestine operation. During your mission, you uncover a secret that could change the course of history. The game features a technology the developer refers to as dynamic conversations, which promise more realistic interactions with in-game characters. Throughout your adventure, you'll make decisions that directly impact your story as well as your relationships with other characters. When you're not chatting it up with interesting folks from across the galaxy, you'll be engaging in fast-paced shootouts, sneaking past guards, and influencing the emotions of others using the elegant mental science of mentalics. How you choose to approach each situation is up to you. Journey to Foundation is a major milestone for us, said Kurt Busch, studio head of Archaeact, in an official release. It's the culmination of all our experience innovating VR gameplay elements, from locomotion to conversation to UI to combat. It's built by a veteran team with a passion for VR first game development. It's an epic game inspired by an iconic IP. Ruuts, so here we have the long-awaited next titles from our once good friends at Archaeact. We used to have quite a dialogue going on with this studio, and I've told them on many occasions that I hope whatever the next game that comes out of their studio is, that it puts it all together. Give me the action and the gameplay that Evasion gave us, but give me the storytelling that we got with Freediver. And it looks like here they're putting it all together and then some, because of the dynamic conversation aspect to this. It seems like a story-driven game that is going to have multiple paths to get through. You're going to choose your faction. You're going to have to either manipulate people or deal with them in other ways. I don't know how it's going to work out in practice, but in theory, this could be some next level gameplay for VR.
Yeah, absolutely. And the key word that I got, or phrase that piqued my interest, was role playing, because that does tell me that it's going to be more story driven. Maybe, like you said, maybe the dialogue actually makes a difference. That's the biggest thing, is like when you're doing a story and you're involved in the story, and your decisions and what you say makes a change in the gameplay or the story. That's really cool. That's like, most games don't do that. Usually, even if they do that, it doesn't really affect much. It's just a little bit of dialogue change or whatever. But I'd like to see something where, my decisions actually make a big difference in what I'm going to experience, right? Like if I played it and you played it, we have a completely different experience just from the choices we made. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. It sounds like you're going to be able to kind of choose which side that you take, and that is going to completely determine how the game plays out. Which, Eric, that will deliver. I mean, among other things, a sense of replayability that we don't typically see in these type of story-driven games.
Yeah, and we lack these type of games. Like we lack a proper story-driven, RPG kind of game. You know what I mean? Like a Mass Effect game where there's a lot of story, there's a lot of interactions, there's a lot of decisions being made as you go along the way, and we just lack that. So this to me, I mean, I love action games, but this to me, man, I'm really looking forward to this. I want this. I want the package, and this looks like the package to me. It gives you enough here of some action, but it gives you a lot of story. I hope it's voice acting. That was the other thing. Did you guys see anything there? Would it say voice acting, or was it text? It didn't really say anything or show anything like that, did it?
That's a good question.
I think
I'm trying to remember the trailer, but
I want to say that it's voice acted, or that's the impression that I got, but I can't point to anything specifically now that I'm thinking about it.
Do you know who else wants the package?
My mom.
Yeah, she'll kill for it. I've heard.
Well, I don't know. I can't say for certain whether or not it'll be fully voice acted or not. But Freediver was. And Freediver came out in 2018, 2019. They've been working on this game for many years at this point. And I would expect it to be just as polished as it possibly could be when it launches on multiple VR platforms later this year.
Right,
everybody's know the story of this, the books or anything?
I don't. I'll tell you what. Just reading what you read there, Wes. I'm already more interested in it because it's the book series and not the Apple TV adaptation. I haven't read or watched either, but with the way that TV sucks anymore and how they ruin every book, and the fact that they phrased it the way that they did tells me that the series was not like the books, and it probably sucked. And they're probably saying, look, if you're worried about it, don't worry. It's not the shitty Apple version, the TV adaptation. It's the actual books, which were good. That's how I read it anyway.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with this series, but what I can tell you is that when we were live reacting to it over on Without Parole, there were a lot of people in chat who knew what it was before they even said it.
Really?
Like, is this Foundation?
Wow.
Is this Foundation? Everybody's like, is this Foundation? So apparently its reputation precedes it.
Gamertag says it's moist in here with the walls dripping. You know who else is moist?
My mom.
Her walls are always dripping.
That's what I heard, man.
Anyway, again, last week's State of Play was, we had a wide variety of reactions to it. I absolutely loved it because now not only do we know what InDreams is working on for PSVR2, but we have the awesome news that Archaeact is finally getting back into the fray after all these years.
Dude, Evasion was so good for what it was. Yeah. Like, I don't think people gave it a chance. It was one of the coolest games that I played of action-wise. Like you said, it was more for someone like Wolvie that in the chat saying that this game has a little bit too much story. I'm the opposite. I want more story and the action. And a game where I'm just going in shooting stuff it gets boring after about 20 minutes. I need something else to pull me through. So
what made Evasion cool? On its surface, it was a pretty standard arcade shooter with above average graphics for the time. What made it cool was it was kind of one of the first co-op campaigns that we saw in VR, and that's what made it special at the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, it wasn't only the heavy hitters from the VR ecosystem that revealed something cool looking at State of Play. We also got some cool looking stuff from Unheard Of developers.
See how you do this time. Kid, we gotta work on your focus. Distractions.
Jim.
They'll get you killed out there. Remember what we shook on. Or I guess we'll just have to keep this up. No! Not that I mind, of course. Let's try again, shall we? See how you do.
Foglands coming to MetaQuest 2 and PSVR2 in 2023. This from Ian Hamilton, Upload VR. The Foglands is a VR dungeon crawler shooter planned for all major VR headsets. Sony premiered a trailer announcing the game and confirmed it for PlayStation VR2. From a studio called Well Told Entertainment, You can see the atmosphere and storytelling teased in the trailer. The developers say that the Steam VR release timing is still to be announced, but it's coming to Quest 2 and PlayStation VR2 in 2023. Over on Steam, the game's description says you'll play as a runner, heroes of a sparse community living underground. Adventure from the wrecks of long dead technology to the undiscovered depths where you'll run, jump, sneak, and fight your way through the fog. We'll be curious to learn more about the Foglands as the game moves closer to release. The Foglands is clearly competing in a pretty busy genre, but we'll be looking to see if the namesake fog or other mechanics are able to help the game stand out from the zombie horde. So here we have another new VR title that was revealed during State of Play. This one for multiple platforms, but cool looking nonetheless. Eric, what did you think about the Foglands?
I thought it looked super cool, man. I love this like cool art style, and you know, with another shooter. I know we got another shooter, and everybody wants shooters, but man, this looks really, really cool. Again, this one looks like roguelike to me. It just screams it, you know, with the cards the dude's shuffling. You know, at one point in the trailer, he's, you know, the guy dies and he's like, okay, let's try this again. So it feels like it's going to be like a, you know, live, die, repeat. But yeah, it looks super cool, man. I love it. And this with, you know, the haptics, you put shooter with this headset, with the rumble in the headset and the haptics and the triggers, it just makes sense. And man, I'm super looking forward to this one too.
Paradise Decay with the $2 super chat, or £2 super chat. Haptics is the new black. Just saying. Actually, you know what? Black is the new black if you're talking about OLED.
That's true. That's true. Unless you're in, well, I guess it's still black, but if you go into kayak VR at night, it's not a good black. It's like disturbing.
Yeah.
I caught it in After the Fall last night too.
Did you really?
A room in After the Fall where you get into, you know how some of those rooms in After the Fall are so dark that you can't see anything except where your flashlight is. And like I was just like, I got into that corner over there in one of those rooms where it was so dark, and I kind of like just was moving back and forth a little bit, and you can just see it. It was just like smearing all over the screen. I'm like, eh. But
how
is the only spot I saw it? It was the only spot I saw it.
How is it in PlayStation VR2? I have yet to check it out. I don't think I own it.
It's really, really good. I mean, it's the trigger, the whole everything feels so much better when you shoot that shotgun with the triggers and the rumble. When you get hit, you know, whether you're hit from where you can't see them or not. I'm not going to say when you're hit from behind. When you get hit from when you can't see them, and you get the face haptics rumbling. Man, it sets you off like, what the hell, you know, or there's a crawler that gets you, and all of a sudden you get hit, and it's not just a visual on the screen, it's the rumble on the headset, and then man, with the triggers, with the haptic triggers, and you shoot, and the colors look freaking fantastic. I can't wait till you guys check it out.
Yeah, definitely sounds cool.
If we don't do Demio this Wednesday, maybe we do After the Fall.
We should, because guys, we have 2 brand new maps in there. There's 2 brand new maps.
Do we have copies of that?
Amazing.
I had a copy from the original PlayStation VR launch. Did you not get one?
I might. I don't know what I have on my account. I played the PlayStation VR 1 so little, like only when I had to, because I just didn't like the controllers, and there was so much about that headset that it was like such a downgrade every time I went in there. It was like having to readjust to the how bad the fidelity was, and so I don't know. I might have it. If not, I'll have to
find out.
Yeah, it's the way to play it now, I think.
Well, we'll be the judge of that. Maybe we do Demio and After the Fall if we can find enough time to do all that multiplayer.
That's a good idea.
I like it.
Anyway, Foglands Ruuts. I'm digging the art style here. Obviously, it's one of those specialized art styles that is meant to look good across multiple platforms. But I get a little bit of a Light Brigade feel here, right? It's a very specialized art style that actually is kind of reminiscent of the Light Brigade.
Absolutely. And like somebody in the chat said, it looks like it has a lot of personality. It just looks cool, man. It looks like the story could be amazing. And that's the thing, is like I want multiple facets, you know, and for Wolvie, it looks fast. It looks, you know, you had manual reloads. It looks like it's gonna be, I mean, it looks like it could be really good, and it's just one that nobody even saw coming, right? It's super cool. I mean, how many other games are out there that are like this that nobody's heard of, that are just like a month away, 2 months away, 6 months away. Super cool.
Looks like Jack Skellington, Eric.
Right? Does give you a little Nightmare Before Christmas vibe.
A little bit. Anyway, details very sparse regarding to the Foglands, but definitely my curiosity is piqued, and we'll be looking forward to trying it when it releases on multiple platforms later this year.
Is after the fall crossplay, by the way? Somebody's asking in chat, and I'm curious.
It is 100%. Every platform. Yep.
Cool.
Now you can specify, like, if you want to stick to a certain platform, you can specify, like, if PlayStation players just want to play with PlayStation players, you can make it that way, but it is fully cross-play between all of the supported platforms.
Is there a benefit for that? Like, is there a reason why you would want to minimize who you're playing with?
I mean, there was before, like when you were playing with Move controllers and shit.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or maybe you're on Steam and you don't want to play with people who, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, maybe, or maybe you're just part of the PC master race and you're too good to play with anyone else.
That's true.
How
This
dare
man
you want to play with other
legitimately
people?
thinks that he is better than us.
You know, Wolf Raza says, "Where the hell is Gambit? Damn it!" And this is the thing, Wolvie. Every day that goes by that Gambit doesn't come out, I'm glad, because that game was so good, but it had its things they needed to fix, and that tells me that they're working on this thing, and when it drops, it's going to be the version we want it to be, with no jank at all, which is going to be awesome.
But wasn't Gambit targeted for this month, Eric? I want to say that it was.
It was, yeah. It's a weird month to come out, though, right? I mean, I would want to wait. Unless I'm going to launch on the PlayStation VR2 this month, I think I would want to wait until at least April.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Agreed.
Maybe. But as soon as you say that, like, Returnal VR comes out next month.
Oh, my God.
You know what I mean?
And then you're screwed.
Yeah. D-Rail says Putin delayed it.
Yeah.
Well,
Damn it. It's his his fault. And Trump's. Just throwing that out there.
We stand with Ukraine.
Yeah, right. I just hope that they are fixed. Like, how many times have we done this rodeo where they delay the game and then they launch it and it's like, the fuck did you do? Like,
oh, yeah.
Like, I don't know how many times I've done like, well, what, you delayed it for 3 months and it's still like all janky and garbagey. I mean, I just hope that they do fix whatever was there. You know, the issues that were there.
Yeah.
You know what I think they should do? I think they should launch it for $30 and then wait until everyone buys it and then make it free.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good idea.
And give you a value in game so you can, like, oh, thank you.
Speaking of which, Population 1 Battle Royale will soon be free to play on Quest. This from mixednews.com. In March, Population 1, the leading Battle Royale game on Quest, will be free for everyone. Meta recently announced one of the Quest 2's most popular first-person shooters will soon be available for free to play. As the only way to play a VR game similar to Fortnite on a Quest headset, Population 1 is unique. The current price is $30, and it's well rated at that price, enjoying over 11,000 ratings and more than 5,600 reviews, with an average of 4.4 out of 5 stars. As a free game, the number of new users will certainly increase. With more players, it will become easier to quickly assemble teams and start a battle. The downside, of course, is an influx of green players that will quickly fall to a seasoned Pop1 veteran. In addition to going free to play, Population 1 also announced several updates that go live on March 9th. A sandbox map made in Population 1's new level editor will be moving into the squad's evolving map, replacing the Outpost Hill, and it will receive consistent updates throughout the year. The original Battle Royale map from Season 1 is returning and will be available for classic squads. Developer Big Box VR, now owned by Meta, also promised better guns, characters, and worlds with improvements to colors, sharpness, and the addition of real-time shadows. Improved visuals are an important upgrade for any Quest game, as long as performance isn't affected. Population 1 currently supports the original Quest, Quest 2, and Quest Pro. Given the age of the processor in the first Quest headset, it seems unlikely that it would be able to handle higher quality graphics, but Meta seems to be able to squeeze a bit more out of its headsets every year. Several gameplay balance changes are coming to make weapons behave more like you'd expect. Healing and ghost speed will also be adjusted. Hopefully the ghosts can move around a little faster. That was a nightmare. For those who are new to Population 1, a single-player mode will help you get up to speed, battling against dynamic bots and gaining rewards. New lobbies will help with matchmaking in an attempt to place players with others of similar skill levels. There are many more changes and improvements coming on March 9th. Population 1 will receive another update on March 30th and will continue to evolve over the course of the year. So, Eric, it sounds to me like this isn't just that it's going free to play. With all of these upgrades and optimizations, it sounds like they're relaunching this game.
Yeah, I mean, this is a weird move at this time. I mean, I don't think the player base has shrunk to where they need to do this. I think they want to do this to increase what they already have as a good player base. It will bring a lot of new players in the game that maybe wouldn't have tried it before or maybe were worried about it. One thing I find extremely interesting, I was talking to, because GT just said something here in chat. I was talking to Wise Director from VR Central this morning, and what he said, what GT just said in chat is the same exact thing that Wise Director told me, because we were having a chat about Pop1. And he said, my Pop1 take, this is what GT just said, going free isn't about current player base, even though it will increase. It's getting eyes on big box player into the ecosystem and brand awareness for the sequel. It's so weird that he said that, because it's exactly what Wise Director said this morning. His whole point was, he was like, they don't really need it for the game. They need it to like push their brand and their next game, or they want to advertise it. He said kind of like Resolution did when they were like pushing in Blast On, they started pushing Ultimax, and then in Ultimax they started pushing Blast On. So he thinks that we're going to see another game from Big Box, and this is going to be their way to bring a huge amount of eyes into the game and start doing advertising for more games or more brand stuff in the game. Interesting.
I think it's an interesting pivot, Ruuts, because, you know, we've heard a lot lately about how Meta hasn't been getting the engagement over the last year that they were enjoying before. But you know who's still sticking around on the Quest platform and who's still playing Quest games? Young people. And you know what young people like to play? Free games. Yeah, these people are the people who play Rec Room, Gorilla Tag. My son just had his birthday party earlier today. Happy birthday, Brody. Happy birthday, Spraga. But, you know, I opened up my door this morning and I look out the door and there's like freaking 4 people in there and they're all playing Quest in the same room. Rec Room, Gorilla Tag. This is the stuff that they play. And I think that Population 1 and Meta are trying to reach these players because they're not going to be broke forever, Ruuts.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing is like they don't have the disposable income that adults have, right? They get to play what their parents buy them or what's free. And so it definitely is going to bring a lot of squeakers into it. So expect that. What I was saying before about, you know, usually if a game goes free to play, that's usually the time I check out of it because that's usually when it goes downhill. But I don't think that's going to be the case for this one. Somebody had said something on Twitter and I thought it was kind of interesting. Oh God, hey, what happened there? That was weird. It's like fighting me. Wants to see the bottom of the page. But they were saying something about how this could be something that that they had maybe Fortnite is coming to VR for free, and so like they're proactively getting ahead of that as well. So I don't know, man. You know, $30. I paid this $30 for this game a few years ago. It was definitely worth the price of admission, as much time as we had in it, how much fun I had in it. My question is it going to be free for Steam? I see that they're, you know, I didn't see that mentioned at all in this article. Everything was about Quest and Oculus and everything else, but I own the Steam copy. So is that also, is it going to be free for everybody across the board, or is this just an Oculus thing?
No, I don't even think Gorilla Tag's free on Steam, is it?
It's not. It's $20 on Steam.
Yeah, I don't think it's free on PC either anymore. I think it's just the Quest version, Gorilla Tag. So
I think Ruuts might be onto something here, Eric. I read today that in the next big Fortnite update that they're implementing an optional first-person mode.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, I don't know. They just recently came out and said Fortnite is not going. We don't have any plans for Fortnite VR, but I could see them, you know, pivoting off of that if it makes sense, and it does. I mean, especially with PlayStation now getting so much news into here. I mean, do we ever see a PlayStation version of Pop1 with big box? I mean, it was weird. I fired up my PlayStation VR2 and played this new Star Wars experience, and having a PlayStation headset on and seeing Oculus Studios come up in the headset as I'm playing that game, and I'm like, why can't I see big box? Why wouldn't Oculus do that, or Meta do that?
Yeah,
maybe. Gamertag VR in the chat says that it's going to get a lower price on PC, but it will not be free.
Okay. Well, you know, PC players, screw you. Basically.
Said PC guys get gold worth $20 to $30. Didn't you say that the people who paid for this game, Eric, are going to get a big package?
Yeah. You know who else likes a big package?
My mom.
Yeah, it's right there.
Yeah, they announced what it was. I saw a couple of people, like Jasmine put a TikTok out on it. There is some type of package that people are getting that had purchased it. Now I don't know I don't remember the details of what was in the package, but it was definitely a value. But I don't know if that was only for people who purchased it within so much time ago, like only for newer purchases. Like I assume that people who bought it a long time ago.
It says all players who own Pop1 before March 9th.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
So anybody who owns it then, so all the way back until when you originally bought it, sounds like you're going to get this cool package. I don't know the detail. She had the details of the package, so it's out there somewhere. I just don't remember what it was.
It's on the screen. They've basically, you get the OG banana skin for one. It's basically letting people know you were there from the beginning. You know, it's kind of like with me. I've got that scarecrow skin, and you can't get it anymore. It's
yeah,
special.
We do. Hell yeah, we do. We got the vampire skin too.
Oh, the vampire skin's the best one, dude. The gun is so awesome.
You know, Ruuts, I bet Messi's going to be melting squeakers left and right now.
Free to play. Can he get back in?
No, yeah, that's right. I think he's done with it. I think he got banned enough times where he was pretty much told Big Box, screw you. I think.
Big box of turds, huh?
Yeah.
Anyway, I think it's a good move. And, you know, for those of you who are concerned about the influx of younger players, I will point out that Population 1 is currently fully customizable with private lobbies. You don't have to play public. Just bring some friends. Where would you find friends, you may ask? Well, scroll down to the description down below. You'll see an invitation to the Virtual Strangers Discord, and I'm sure people are going to be down to play Pop1 when all these new updates drop.
Yeah. Fluke Rogi says you need to log in before the 10th to make sure your Pop1 account gets the package when it transitions to free to play. So I guess that's a good tidbit. We got 5 days to get in there before to be able to get this package.
I really
Maybe
could
we'll
see
cover
why
it
they
for
didn't
Wednesday. I'm just joking.
Ooh, I could really see why they wouldn't put this on PSVR1, right? Because it would be difficult to put this game on there with the Move controllers and having to front face the camera most of the time. It would be difficult. But now
It's got to go.
If Meta would ever release it, why wouldn't? I mean, this would be a no-brainer cross-platform game. How many more players would you get into the game itself? Buying the seasons or whatever they're gonna do, getting more eyes in this game. It makes, if Meta would ever allow it, and we've already seen that they're not platform exclusive. They don't really seem like they care. They'll put other games on there. I really could see a Pop1 release before the end of the year.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Sony and Epic Games like this, son.
That's true.
Like, you know.
Yeah.
I'm still not convinced on Fortnite. I'm still not convinced that it's coming.
Well, I'm not convinced that it's coming, but I'm not convinced that it's not coming either.
Well, this is the thing about Fortnite. It's on every single platform that exists. So it would be naive to think that it's not on their radar at some point, because they've put it on everything. And the only thing it's not on is VR. And it's, I think maybe they, to keep hype, they downplayed it. Somebody did find the coding in the Quest 2, right? For Fortnite at one point. So there's more things that make me believe that it's coming than not coming. And I guess at any point, like somebody said in the chat a little bit ago, we're going to be getting it in the mod, the Unreal Engine mod. So
Prey Dog mod.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. It took Big Box years to make this game. This is not an easy game to do in VR. So I don't know if Epic wants to put a Fortnite game out there in VR, and who's going to make this game for them, and does that game fall on its face because it's no good? You know what I mean? If we all want Fortnite, but if we go in there and it's shit, do we want that?
Just don't make it first person. Just put I feel like a broken record. Just put the actual game as it is. Put it in there. You just put it in VR. Give me the same controls. I don't need it. I don't need to have a remake. I don't need it to be first person. I got Pop1 for that.
Third person in VR.
That's bullshit.
That'll never work.
Yeah, that'll never work.
How dare you even bring that up, Ruuts?
How dare you?
I know, that's so crazy. But
how dare you have to use a controller and not your game?
It would take all the risk out of it, because the game doesn't change. The game would still be amazing, and you would be in the virtual world. You would still have scale. You would have everything, except for you would be following your character like I did in Hogwarts Legacy, which was 1,000 times better than the flat version. And it was a simple mod that somebody, you know what I mean? Like, there's no reason they can't do it. And honestly, all those people out there that are like, it has to be first person, you're part of the reason why we don't get these AAA games. Your attitude towards it is what's holding things back. So
yeah, screw you guys.
Yeah, no, don't screw. But it's just one of those things where I don't feel like I've got like this ability to see so far into the future. But this is one thing that I see so clearly, that if they would just do it, it would change everything. And I'm talking developers across the board, AAA developers, just bring us the game as it is in VR, and then we start seeing games come out on day one, flat and VR together, and you're not killing the player base, and you're not having to spend a bunch of extra money, and we don't see what's holding back. Everybody says we don't have the funding for it. You don't need the funding if you do exactly what I just said, and it would be easy, a lot easier than people think.
Braga says third person will never work. Tell that to Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the best versions. And Edge of Nowhere was amazing.
Yeah, very good.
And every flat game that I've played, I haven't played Returnal yet, but I guarantee it's going to be just as amazing, if not, and Hogwarts Legacy and Red Dead 2 and GTA 5 and, Cyberpunk 2070. I mean, how many examples do we need? Of course, not all of those are third person, but they're all VR or AAA games brought into VR by mods, by people that aren't even in the industry, at least not in the actual companies, right? So if you had somebody from these games, from Epic Games doing it, like, how hard would it be? I just don't think it'd be as hard as we think.
Our friend Mr. Tasselhoff dropping by to say hello. Hello, Tass. Ruuts, speaking of which, I've seen multiple sources come out this week and say that they're working on gun stocks for the Sense controllers.
I wonder if Tass, actually, I don't wonder if Tass is. I know he already is. He has to be.
Yeah. But I saw one from a group I've never heard of before. It looked pretty cool. Looked like it was easy to use.
Well, and that was another thing, and I didn't put it on Twitter, but when I saw some people talking about it, they seemed shocked. A lot of the PlayStation VR people, because a lot of people, for whatever reason, they thought, we need a name. We have to have a name. And I get it, because they've never used a gun stock. But these gun stocks exist in PC VR and Quest for a reason, because they do make things better. And it's amazing how just a little, like Tass's mini mag makes things so much better. and it doesn't need to be an aim controller, so.
Eric, imagine Pop1 with the aim controller.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, son.
Son. I want, see, that's what it is. I don't want, I like the aim controller so much that, like, I am looking forward to gun stocks.
How do you climb with an aim controller?
I know, that's the only problem.
That's a good point.
The aim controller is so damn good, though. Like, I don't need Pop1, but I mean, give me, I want an aim controller, too. Like, give me gun stocks. Like, ProTube, I guarantee ProTube, you're going to see them have something. All these companies will figure something out. I just still want the aim, too, though. Like, I want, for the certain games, I don't need it. For Firewall Ultra and Alvo and any other game where I don't need to have both hands free, I want the aim controller type of stock still. It's just so good.
The problem with the aim controller is exactly the problem with Firewall 0 Hour, or I guess it's just Firewall, right? You're hitting buttons. The same people that bitched about, oh man, I got to hit a button to reload, I got to hit a button to do this, they have no problem with it because it's the aim controller. You're still hitting a button to reload. You're still hitting a button to climb or whatever it is. And like, it's weird. Like, I don't think, for me, I don't have a problem hitting the button to reload, but a lot of people, a lot of purists do. But they'll give the aim controller a pass. And it's weird to me. So
I know I loved the aim controller on PSVR1, and a lot of these games like Firewall, it was optional with. Anyway, I forgot where I was going with that. Population 1 update, the first of many, apparently, dropping this week on the 9th. March, a busy month for game releases, and this next title, surprisingly, falling within the month as well.
Peggy 16.
Kurt, do you remember how you and I met?
I don't know. There used to be hundreds like you around.
Yeah, back when there were hundreds like you, I guess.
I was left alone for weeks, but then you appeared. A little broken, but...
Jailbroken, actually.
And you talked funny. And I felt sorry for you, so I kept you around.
Oh, cheers. Really flattered.
Yes, we're on the clock again.
That's better than pulling fluff out your belly button. Let's go, Fatty.
Fatty? Hey, can you come closer for a second?
The I will. I know what you're up to.
Oh, what was that?
I need a charge. Catch you later. Mate, they're trying to get rid of us.
Of us? Of me, maybe. You? You're irrelevant.
Well, thank you so much. The fact is, you're
Nah, never lost a race in my life.
The music's stressing me out. I'm so stressed.
Relax. I know this track like the back of my hand.
World's greatest troll.
What an asshole. Full steam ahead, Captain.
You are?
What?
What the was that? Steam, Captain. What's that about?
That's the kind of stuff you were saying.
Next time we do that, send me straight to recycling.
The Last Worker delivers on March 30th for Quest, PSVR2, and PCVR. The Last Worker, an anti-capitalist VR narrative adventure, arrives this month on Quest, PSVR2, and PCVR. Jointly developed by Oifi and Wolf and Wood, The Last Worker is a dystopian adventure packing an all-star cast that includes Zelda Williams and Tommy Earl Jenkins. Playing as world-weary factory worker Kurt, you're asked to help dismantle his employer from within, and Kurt's joined by a robotic companion, Stu, played by Jason Isaacs. Promoting a unique blend of work simulation and stealth strategic gameplay, you can watch the release trailer, which we just did. Quote time. Just as the pandemic has made us all dependent on home deliveries, it took us a whole pandemic to deliver this game. said Jorg Title in a separate statement. We've often felt like Kurt, overworked, lonely and tired, with Skew reminding us that there will be fun and light at the end of this fulfillment center. We briefly tried the Quest version during our last worker preview in 2021. While it was early days, we came away optimistic. The game has an assured confidence in its storytelling and a high level of production that feels rare in VR right now. For starters, it straight up looks better than most of the games I've played on Quest, even if that's down to its hand-painted art direction. It allows the teams to get far more out of the visuals than we're used to seeing on Quest, from the exaggerated wrinkles lining Kurt's forehead to the tiny details decorating his craft and making it feel like a real, lived-in vehicle. The Last Worker arrives on March 30th for the MetaQuest platform, PSVR2, and PCVR for $19.99. A flat screen release is also planned for PC, PS5, Switch, and Xbox Series S. Ruuts, it's a narrative adventure, and one that we have been covering for years at this point and looking forward to for a very long time. And these games are for some people, and they're not for some people, but it says a lot about this game that they've got world-class voice actors and that they feel that it's good enough for a flat release. Good games are good games at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it definitely looks unique. I personally like capitalism when it's not messed with, but that's just me. But I agree with Tech in this respect. They shouldn't put politics in a game. You're immediately cutting off 50, especially in 2023. You're immediately cutting off 50% of your people, even without even hearing anything. It looks like it could be cool.
Honestly, I don't think that that's what they're doing here, and which is odd for this day and age because there seems to be an agenda behind everything. I think what they're pointing out here is kind of the something that we've often criticized. A purely capitalist society in a technological age is going to be driven more and more toward automation, which is going to make people less and less relevant. And this is we've talked a lot about this with like what electric vehicles are going to mean and self-driving cars for the trucking industry and things like this. I don't think that they're specifically coming out and attacking capitalism as an economic system that works in a free country, more so than they're just coming out and saying, hey, this is a possible consequence in times that aren't maybe so far into the future. And really it's that's kind of one of the things I like about the story, is that kind of whole fighting against the machine aspect of it. You looking forward to The Last Worker, Eric?
Yeah, I mean, this trailer looked. I was always intrigued with the game before, and I was like, okay, it looks really cool. The story's cool. I mean, it sounds cool. It looks cool. But this trailer here actually showed quite a bit more of like getting into like the deeper parts of this huge factory that you're in. And I think it looks way cooler in there. I love the art style. And look, I don't know if there's politics in this game, and I hope there's not. I hate when games get preachy, and if the game does get preachy to me and it's not good, I'll just not play it. Yeah. But for right now, I don't know that, so I'm not going to jump out here and go, well, I'm not going to go play it because we don't know. Let's get in there and see it first, and then we'll figure out if it's going to be preachy or if it's going to be political. So I don't want to comment on that yet. Let's just comment on what the game looks like, which to me it looks like it's a pretty damn cool game. I'll definitely check it out. Then we'll let you guys know if it's a preachy game, because I don't think any of us like to be preached to. I don't want to be preached to in my games. And if it's doing that, then I'll shut it off.
Yeah, absolutely agree. And we'll tell you on this very channel, by the way, if that's what it turns out to be. I really don't think that that's what we've got here. I like the dialogue in this trailer. Eric, it's got some gritty dialogue. They're dropping some colorful language, and you're right. The art style is cool. It looks like Jupitergrad, doesn't it?
It does look a lot like Jupitergrad, and it kind of has that same feel to it, like that Jupitergrad does. So yeah, I love it, man. I think it's gonna be cool. I mean, the game has intrigued me to the point where I'm really looking forward to seeing what it's all about now. So if you got me hooked a little bit, then I think you're doing a good job.
Ruuts, do you think you could get into this, assuming the story's as good as we think it could be? You think you could get into one of these like situational puzzlers that you kind of like throwing monkey wrenches and conveyor belts to try to bring down the man.
What? Yeah, I always want to bring down the man. It actually, I agree. I think that the dialogue, the way it looks, it definitely looks very unique. It could be really cool. I think it'd be definitely worth checking out for sure.
Don't be Area Man Lives though. If it's Area Man Lives, I'm fucking out, man.
You know, I want to make fun of Area Man Lives, but you guys talked me out of playing it. So
you should just go try it just to see. I'd be curious to see how bad you think. I don't know. Sometimes though, Wes, well, games that I think are terrible, you kind of get into some of those games. So I don't know. I would be curious to see your exact what you think of that exact.
We
game.
Still need to get into what the bad as well, because it could be like the
and
best
it's sitting
game
there
ever.
in the PlayStation VR2 library with face haptics and everything,
colorful,
with the upgraded colors and the face haptics and the foveated rendering, and you guys still have not.
I'm going in there. I'm going in there right after the show, and I'm going to spend like 12 hours in there.
And then Wes is going to go do Area Man Lives and what the bat.
Maybe we'll cover it this Wednesday.
Should. Let's do it. Seriously, let's put it on there right now. Come on.
we'll talk about that a little more off there.
Oh, shit,
I don't know, man. All I know is that I've been looking forward to this title for a long time. And we're finally getting it this month. So literally like 3 weeks away, we're finally going to get to see if this thing is worth all the build-up that it's received. I, for one, am looking forward to it. And again, if you want to learn more about The Last Worker, you know what to do. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you ring that bell, because we will definitely be rolling back around to this one.
Ryan Brandon just said the PSVR2 without parole guys liked What the Bat. Is that true, Wes? Is that like a true statement?
Miles, I don't know. I haven't talked to Brian about it. I know Miles liked it.
I heard AJ liked it too.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, maybe now I gotta go check it out. If they liked it, then that tells me that there's got to be something to it.
Yeah.
They haven't had a lot to play over the last couple of years, guys.
Oh, that's true. That's kind of like somebody.
Let's calm down.
If you're starving and they say like Eddie Murphy said, a Ritz cracker is like the best cracker in the world if you haven't been eating anything for a long time.
I mean, I jumped in the library today of our shared library, and I saw what was that game? Mission Commander or Space Commander for PSVR 1?
Dropship
Commander. So if you're playing Dropship Commander, I would say fucking What the Bat probably looks like one of the best games you've ever played. But
I'll tell you this: Dropship Commander features the beautiful voice of our good friend Betty. So for that.
Well, dude, I gotta go in there for that reason.
Oh, wait, maybe I'm not thinking that. Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong game then. Which is the one where you're like in the ship and it's all broken? You're like the shuttle. You're in the space shuttle. Is that not that one? You know which one I'm talking about? The one that Brian played. He streamed it, and he was like, it was on the outside of his ship, and it was like one of the worst games ever. Maybe I'm confused as to what game that is.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of those games.
That's so much fun. So much fun.
There's another PSVR 1 game where you're actually flying the space shuttle, and that's what I thought it was. No, Dropship Commander is not bad. It's good because me and Betty were talking about it yesterday.
So much fun watching Brian play a game that is crap, because it's just I don't know. I just think it's fun.
Anyways, we're definitely going to get around the What the Bat. We'll see if there's anything to it or not. I don't know if it'll be this week, but we'll certainly work our way back around to it.
Shades of Grey Matters, guys. Space Explorer.
Space Explorer.
Star Trek Bridge Crew 2. Is it coming?
Oh, that would
maybe. Be cool. Ubisoft's been a friend of VR for a long time, so I wouldn't be shocked.
Well, and I thought the first actual game was really good. I know, like, I just thought I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I don't know. I literally don't know. Anyway, our headline's quickly winding down, but I think there's one more very significant topic that we should probably touch on before we move along.
You see, we are all connected through the holy body. When you need only accept the sacred gift. Christ! Like she did.
Temperance, child.
I'm taking the liberty of preparing some entertainment for you. The entertainment. Without further ado, the gallant knight protects the princess Faye.
I'll make it cheap for you.
Move!
She always like this with you.
How about you open fire under your mouth. Long time no see. Major Krauser? Why? You can't save her. You can't save anyone.
What's gonna happen to me?
We gotta keep moving forward. We will beat this. Together.
Thanks.
Then come, Sancho Panza. Let us rescue the Princess Dulcinea. You gotta hurt yourself. Sorry, bad traffic. This is kind of fun. Ahead! You're kidding.
Yes, the time has come.
Like I told you. I'm gonna get you home safe. Ready to die, rookie. Exalt all Leon! And let it be so! This time, it has to be different.
Well now, time to cause some mayhem.
Resident Evil 4 PSVR2 mode is coming as free DLC now in development. This is from Scott Hayden at Road to VR. Resident Evil 4 is getting a remake for PS5 soon, and although Capcom didn't state it was bringing full PSVR2 support when it was announced back in June, the developer now says its VR mode is in the works right now and will be offered as free DLC to the flat screen game on PS5. The Japanese language Capcom Twitter announced that Resident Evil 4 Remake team has now started development on its PSVR2 mode. It's not clear when it will launch. However, the studio further confirmed that the VR mode, which presumably means that we'll be playing the full game on PSVR2, will be a free DLC to the flat screen game on PS5. This comes as a contrast to the announcement in June of, quote, VR content, which left some room for doubt. So here we are, Eric. One of the most this game's a favorite for a lot of people, and I don't mean the remake. I mean the original version. A lot of people, this is their favorite Resident Evil game, and it just got a VR. That's the reason why there was so much confusion during the initial Sony State of Play when they announced that there would be VR content coming for the remake. As the article points out here, that left a lot of room for doubt. But in the wording of this latest announcement from Capcom, I think most of that doubt, if not all of it, has been removed, because now they're referring to this as VR mode, which, as you know, is what they call Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil 8. So I, for one, am extremely excited about this. I think this remake looks absolutely stunning from the footage that we've seen thus far.
Hell yeah, man. And we were just talking about this during the trailer. I'm one of those people. I'm one of those people that this is one of my favorite RE4 games. Like, it's one of my favorite games of all time. I've played through this game on several platforms. I went and bought a freaking GameCube just to play this game because if you remember, that was the original console that this game got released for. And, you know, before it was on anything else, it was on GameCube, and I went and bought it just for that. This game is phenomenal, and I enjoyed it on the Quest too. And there's no, you know, we're not shitting on that title. That title is amazing, and to get that in VR first is awesome. But this looks next level, man. This looks amazing. And you know, we were saying this too. I would play this flat, number one, and I don't play many flat games, but if I had the time, and I probably will get it because you got to buy it anyway, so I'll go get it and I'll try it flat and I'll get as much as I can into it, but because I think it looks so damn good. But yeah, I mean, I cannot wait to play this in VR. I mean, if it looks anything like this flat version, which it sounds like it's going to be, exactly that, a mode just like we got in Resident Evil 8 Village, where it looks exactly the same. It's just within, you know, in the headset, This is what we want. This right here is the reason to go buy a PlayStation VR2. Everybody's like, well, I need a reason. I need games. I need this. This is the fucking reason, man. Look at that game and tell me you don't want to put a headset on and be in that freaking world and see it and not have it look like the Quest 2 graphics. If you can tell me that, and you can afford the headset, and you can tell me you don't want to be in that, then why are you in VR? Like, this is it, man. This is the stuff we've been asking for. Go get it.
But it's got a wire.
Yeah,
that's true. Sorry. All right. Everything I just said, never mind. Back it up.
Ruuts, do you have any interest in playing AAA flat games in VR?
Oh man, that's garbage. I don't AAA, bro. No, actually, that's the thing, man. I'm like Eric. I'd love to play this thing flat, but I only got so far in the Resident Evil 4 Quest version, and I think the graphics, because it looked so. Like, even the gameplay looks better here. Like the way that people move and stuff. Like in the Resident Evil 4 on the old school, not remake, it just seemed like very the at least in the beginning, the gameplay was they were kind of boring to fight. You know, it was very repetitive, and it just seemed like it was, you know, this seems to be outside the box, and it looked really good. And I foresee myself streaming it flat and playing it VR for sure.
But Eric, I mean, on one hand, this is one of the most gorgeous looking games that are coming out this year. On the other hand, Mira, bro.
Oh yeah. Forget it.
If this thing was like, I don't know, even if there was Mira and I'm like, oh my god, I can't do it, and I wouldn't care. Like, it doesn't bother me that much, man. You're in Resident Evil 4, man. Did you see the video? You see that trailer? I mean, if you got everything you see in that trailer, and a couple of scenes there was like some smeared edges, or you got that little bit of like weirdness in the dark scenes. I'd be like, whatever. It's a trade-off. I'll take it all day long. Give me whatever you want to give me. Put me in that universe. Put me in a AAA game where I am actually playing a deep, storied game with awesome gameplay that will give you 10 to 20 hours of gameplay, or more than 10, probably 20 plus hours of gameplay. And the mercenary mode. Now, I don't know if the mercenary mode's coming to VR, but geez, if it ever does, holy crap, this thing is going to be awesome.
Yeah, I'm sure it will, man. Like, that makes sense, and that's one of the things that people were speculating that the VR content might be, is the mercenaries mode. But there's so many different, I mean, like all the different enemies and most of the different environments are already in the mercenaries mode. If they were going to go that far, it would make perfect sense for them just to go ahead and do the whole game. Ruuts, do you think that this is a given that they're going to make it in the first person, or do you think this could be one of those games where we follow the character?
That's a good question, because the original game is not first person, and everybody's thinking, Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil 8, but I mean, I guess the remake or the Quest version was first person, correct? Or am I remembering?
Yeah, it was. Yep. That's correct. But but it received a lot of criticism for the way that it kind of handled those QuickTime events. Whether you're doing a spin kick or jumping through a window, it kind of pulls you out of the body for a moment, lets you watch it, and then puts you back in first person.
It's going to be a completely different type of game. I mean, this is the thing. Like, I would prefer it to be the way it, was originally. But I mean, so maybe they'll have a mode for it for first person, because there are some people out there that would love to be in there in the first person and aim down the sights and all of that. But I think even as it is, it would be amazing.
What if it's controller?
Oh, well, that's garbage. No, just kidding. I would enjoy it as well, man. Like, I don't know, man. I've used a controller, just like this my entire lifetime. And so there's a reason why those games are made and people use them, because they work well and it feels good and we're used to it. But I would enjoy it either way. I'll enjoy it in first person. I'll enjoy it in third person. I don't care.
Eric, what if you have a PS5 and this is your favorite game and you're so looking forward to playing it, but you just can't afford a PlayStation VR2? What are these people to do?
Good question. I don't know.
Maybe
they could win one.
they could win one.
That's
because I
right.
just literally added into our description. You guys might need to refresh to see it. The link to the Q2C-VR Gamer PSVR2 giveaway. Drawing this Thursday, Eric?
Next Thursday.
Next Thursday.
Yep, not this coming Thursday. Not this coming one. We're going to do it the next one, the following one. We're going to draw it, and we'll draw it live, and we'll put it on the wheel and spin the crap out of it, and some lucky person will get it.
Techno glitch
with the charging dock and the Call of the Mountain, because I got it's the Call of the Mountain package. So.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, with the charging dock and all that. A lot of the times, when Eric gives stuff away, I refrain from entering. Not so this time. I'm entering this one because I have 2 PlayStations. What am I supposed to do? Just like move my VR headset back and forth? I mean, come on.
You could do that, but that's not as fun.
Yeah, but now you can get in there and you can play like PlayStation only games with somebody. You know, with crossplay, you can play with the Quest. But
Firewall.
now, Firewall Ultra with your wife or your with Isabel or your Brody or Chris, any of the kids. I mean, that would be awesome, man.
It's garbage. No aim.
After the fall.
No aim controller.
No, we're going to buy another one eventually. So it would be nice to win one, so I wouldn't have to do that.
Yeah, it's free. It's free to enter too, everybody. I don't know if it's free to enter. You can it's a Gleam giveaway. So click on the link. It brings you to Gleam, and you just click. You can get up to 18 entries, guys.
Oh Jesus!
So if you click all the things, which doesn't cost you anything, to just click them, gives you 18 entries, and gives hopefully everybody a good chance to win something.
Wow.
Gleam giveaway. Yeah, there are a number of different ways that you can gain entries, and the drawing process will be completely automated by the Gleam website. So
I would never enter it, and I'll tell you why. Because I don't have a second PlayStation VR2, and I didn't pay for mine, so it would literally be taken away from somebody else. Whereas, like with Wes, it's for his family, and it would be more for your kids and your wife. So.
You should do it anyway, though. Then you could give it away to the community, because you never know who's going to win this thing. You know what I mean?
That's true.
So it could be anybody outside of the community. So if you want it, then you could give it away to somebody here or whatever, or pass it on. So I think everybody should enter.
That's a good point. My family would love to try PSVR2. I hope they get the chance.
Absolutely.
Come on, Dad. Please.
I may enter it. I'm going to enter it myself.
This one is mine, and it's for me to play with, and they know that. They understand.
I was gonna say, have they been playing? I know you said Michelle got in and tried Call of the Mountain briefly. That was really the first time she's been in, just the other day. Have anybody really tried much?
Dad has to go to work at some point, so
there you go.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
They've all tried it. Isabel is the one who's really been, putting time in it.
Nice. What's she playing? What's her go-to?
Horizon. She's been playing Horizon. Yeah.
So good, dude.
She's probably an expert climber by now, right?
Sprite Guy says your wife wants a second headset. Well, we're open to that, so we'll bring another headset into the house if it's free. Anyways, I think that's our headlines for this week, folks, and never fear though, because as we get into this week's reminders, we're starting as we typically do with what's coming out this week, and boy, is there a lot of stuff out this week. CoasterMania launches today on Quest. Ruuts, this is a big surprise for me. I had no idea that they were even working on this, but this is like, what is the name of that title? There's a flat title that does this exact same thing.
Can't remember what the name of it is.
You get to build your own coasters and ride in them. Roller Coaster Dreams?
Tycoon or something?
Yeah, Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Or something.
Anyway, this is an App Lab title, surprisingly enough, that is out now. that, as I just mentioned, allows you to build your own roller coasters and then ride in them. We've often been critical, Ruuts, about how there aren't enough good quality coaster titles in VR. This one, it looks like at least has potential to be pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's only $10, which is quite a steal. But yeah, my thing is that I'm not interested in building one. That sounds like work to me. But I am interested in writing other people's creations. And how cool would that be if you could? I mean, you guys were saying during the trailer about, how cool would it be if you shrunk down in your living room in the mixed reality version, everything was bigger, and you could like see your big cat or your, humongous wife or your kids 10 foot tall or whatever, you know what I mean?
Clip that. What'd you say about my wife, dude? What the fuck?
Wes is like, fuck you, not your wife.
Michelle's in chat going, I'm humongous? What?
Somebody's wife that's taller. We'll go with taller. So.
Yeah, taller is better. Yeah. My humongous wife. My wife.
My wife.
My wife. My wife is dead. High five.
I don't know. There's only one coaster game I really care about playing right now. It's the only thing I can think about.
I'm trying not to think about that right now, Eric. I'm trying to just forget so that when it comes, it'll be a surprise.
We're only 11 days away.
Oh my God! I'm not going to be here. I don't even tell me.
Where's our keys at?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Where are our keys? Damn, I want the early key.
I need access now. I'm going to be leaving Thursday, dude.
Oh my God!
Remind me tomorrow, Eric, to send some emails. It's time.
Hell yeah.
Anyway, CoasterMania looks cool. Imagine, Eric, what this is a cool concept. You get to build coasters, you get to share your creations and upload them, and everyone gets to ride each other's stuff. You know who loves riding each other's stuff?
My mom.
Yeah,
your humongous mom.
Imagine when this concept makes its way along into next-gen hardware and the graphics fidelity is increased, and you can actually make realistic-looking stuff, much like the what's the one? No Limits.
No
Ruuts?
Limits
Is that
2.
What it's called?
No Limits. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's
I want
cool.
an expert. I want a No Limits 3 for built from the ground up for VR.
I do too. That's super cool. No Limits 2 is actually a really good thing. I love roller coasters in VR, and I think you nailed it on this game. Hopefully they'll have like guns you can put in there so you can shoot stuff as well, which I don't think so, but that would be cool.
They won't, but that'd be cool. Anyway, it doesn't have to be completely photoreal to simulate that feeling of motion. Coaster Combat on Quest proved that out quite well. A lot of people like to talk about Ghost Town Mine Ride as kind of the alternative if you don't have PlayStation VR and want to play something like Rush of Blood. Ghost Town Mine Ride's not great, but Coaster Combat's pretty good, and that's available on Quest now.
Yeah, I think it's probably the best roller coaster on the Quest at this point. It's really good.
Probably so. Anyway, that's not all that's coming this week. Other long-awaited titles also dropping on the Quest as well. Guardians Frontline coming to Quest 2 and Steam VR on March 9th. Eric, we played this game a long time ago when it was in a very early state. Obviously, it's had a bunch of work done to it till then, but even back then, this game had a pretty decent following of people who were kind of into it. Our thoughts coming away is that it had potential, but needed a lot of work. Hopefully now that Fast Travel Games is involved with it, it has
Oh, did you freeze up?
I was gonna say I thought I froze.
Yeah, you froze up for a second there. Wes?
Me or Wes? Was it
Wes
Wes?
did.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I was just throwing it to you, Eric. We played this game a long time ago when it was a bit bare bones in early development. It had a pretty decent following even back then. For us, we saw the potential, but again, thought it needed a lot of work put into it. From the looks of things, since Fast Travel came on board, this game has received a lot of work from the version that we played. Hopefully, some of the things that the game was lacking back then have since been added in.
And I think this is what I think this is what they needed. Like the game had potential. We saw it. We're like, wow, could be a really cool game. There's a lot to it. There's like base setting up. There's like setting up your defenses, and then you have the first person shooting as well. And there's a lot of cool things in here, and the environments are cool, but it needed, like, it lacked. It wasn't perfect. It needed some polish. It needed work. It needed fast travel games, is what I'm thinking. So I think the benefit of having a big publisher come in and assist you and help you and tell you, give you ideas of and give you funding of how to fix your game and how to get things right. I think this is what they needed. We know Fast Travel's pedigree and how they publish great games, and I have no doubt they probably put a ton behind this game, and they wouldn't release it now if it wasn't ready. And I'm looking forward to getting in there and checking everything out.
Yep.
Yeah. Agreed. This again, the game has a lot of potential. It's not just your standard first-person shooter. They add some base building and tower defense mechanics in it as well. And although the one thing that I do remember is that the maps were pretty massive in this thing even back then. So I look forward to checking them out now that they've had a chance to feel them out a little bit. Anyway, let's see. What else do we have here? For those of you out there who are still playing exclusively on your PSVR2, you've got a very unique title coming your way this week as well.
Now, you see that tower out there? The big, scary one? That's where I'm taking you to see the gatekeeper. To be judged. Your life. You're gonna show it to me. Just think back to the very beginning, the first thing that you can remember. Every time you blink, you're going to jump forward in time.
Hey, you! Come over here. Is that really you? It's Chloe, your neighbor.
The only way to fight against time is to create a work of genius, which might live on after you're gone.
Close your eyes now, and keep them closed. It's only a matter of time. You're ashamed of something. Something so terrible, you're trying to blink right past it. Now, the next time that you blink, I'm gonna send you back. And just try to enjoy it this time.
PlayStation.
Before Your Eyes, launching for PlayStation VR2 this week on the 10th. Rich, this is one of the more interesting additions to the launch window lineup, as this is I'm not even sure how much of a game this is. They call it a game, but this is more of a story-driven adventure coming to us from the world of Flat. This game actually gets very high marks from the Flat realm, as the story apparently is gut-wrenchingly emotional and very told very well. But this is a unique game because I don't even think you need controllers for this. You can completely play through this just with the eye tracking, which is, maybe it turns out to be just a gimmick. But again, judging by what other people have said about the version of the game before, I would imagine that it's at least worth a look, so to speak.
Yeah, definitely looks unique. If it's got a good story, I'd definitely be interested in checking it out. I don't really care if I use a controller or eye tracking or whatever. Just looks cool.
Which I'm not sure exactly how this works, but I think the 2D version, you have to have a webcam, something that can see your eyes. It isn't just a gimmick that they put in here for PlayStation VR2, but you needed to be able to use your eyes to play the flat version too.
Oh, cool. Definitely interesting.
Interested in this one at all, Eric?
I am. I think the premise is cool. The story is cool. I don't care that it's not a game. You know what I mean? Again, if you give me some reason to be there, if it's got a great story, you know, and it evokes emotion, I don't care whether it's a game or not. You know, people confuse me with because I don't like kayak or I don't like certain games. I don't like certain things that don't hold my attention. That's what I don't like. I don't like you putting me in something that is boring or I find that there's no point to for what I like. I don't think that's what this is. If it's got a great story, if it evokes emotion, I mean, there's been several games that I absolutely love that have nothing to do with any gamification at all. Wolves in the Walls was one of the best experiences I've ever done. You know, that evoked emotion from me and, you know, made me, I'm almost on the brink of tears playing some of these games. So I have no issue with what they're doing here. I think it's a great idea. I hope it's great. I can't wait to play it. I just downloaded it this morning, and I'll try and get into it this week and check it out. And man, I hope it's great. The whole idea of with the blink, and that's how you move. And if you blink too much, you go too fast and through your life. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what it's all about.
Ruuts, I'm gonna tell you a secret.
There's
wolves in the walls.
Oh my God! Oh. And they're trying to eat the jam too. That's kind of interesting though, not to blink. Somebody was saying in the chat that I was so impressed I didn't blink. Wow. You know, I think that's very cool. That's different.
So the story begins after the death of the main character on the boat of a mystical ferryman. His job is to escort souls to the afterlife. To help with this, he must first learn the life story of his companion. Therefore, he sends game players back to the past where they relive the most important moments of their lives. At first, the journey takes them through positive memories of family, first love, and a fast-paced artistic career. Later, it goes down into the depths of repressed memories to finally get to the bottom of a sad truth. So, yeah, make sure you have microfiber cloths handy to wipe your tears from your lenses. Apparently, this one's going to rip your heart out.
It's already ripping it out.
I don't know if I can handle this right now. I'm emotionally fragile. I don't know if I can do this.
Wait till you get back from your trip.
I just need a hug, Ruuts. I just need a hug.
Anyway, tons of stuff out this week. You know, I didn't even put in here that Presentiment of Death launched this last week. Ooh. The super hot like archery game from Zocus launched, and I saw Skiva putting it over on Twitter the other day, saying that it's really good. So I'm a little bit interested in that. But it wouldn't be a month of the calendar year, Eric, if we weren't talking about something new from Walkabout Mini Golf. Walkabout Mini Golf coming out with yet another DLC this week, and you know how it's been. We cover some of them, and some of them we gloss over because there are so many of them. We try to really focus on the ones that look really cool. And for what it's worth, this looks pretty damn cool.
Yeah, it does, man. I don't know, man. And they're just like hammering these courses out all of a sudden, right? I mean, it seems like we just got the Atlantis one. I'm like, man, and then they have another one already, and just super surprised. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I actually at South by Southwest coming up. This is a tech show coming up in Austin. They're doing like in Austin, in Utah, and in New York City. Walkabout Mini Golf is doing these live events all at the same time, where they're having a whole bunch of creators come out and do certain things. And we're going to go. Me and Jasmine and Skiva are going to go. We're going to be in South by Southwest, and they invited us to come out and hang out and check some things out. So this is kind of cool, man. I'm looking forward to playing this game, and their courses are awesome. This is a great team, and man, they just continue to pump these courses out that people love. So more. Like it.
Ruuts, this is Upside Town, the Impossible Town. This is literally like a MCS you're painting, only it's mini golf.
That's going to be amazing. What's kind of crazy is it looks like it could be somewhat difficult to some extent, but I guarantee Guido's going to like kick all of our asses because he's so good at this game. But yeah, no, I agree with Mash. It's crazy how many courses this game has and keeps coming out with, and each one of them's a banger. And it's just added so much replayability and just value to this game. Even if you don't have the DLC, you can play it with your friends, right? So
we have access to this right now.
Oh,
we're not allowed to talk about it yet, but do we play it now or do we wait for this game to come to PlayStation VR2?
That's a good question. How colorful is it going to be in VR?
All right.
The PlayStation
when
VR2?
is the launch? Do we know when the launch is for PlayStation VR2?
Not off the top of my head. I don't know.
I know they announced it's coming. I don't know if they actually said when though. Did they? They might have. I don't remember, but
yeah, I don't think so. I didn't get the feeling like it was going to be very long, but I don't know exactly when it's going to be. Yeah, it's
Thursday,
a mixed bag here.
says.
This DLC launches Thursday. I'm not sure that. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's a mixed bag. Obviously, the game looks better on PC than it looked on Quest. Slightly. It's not profound difference, but there are differences. And I got to imagine being able to play it on the bright, the bright OLED screen with a little bit more field of view. It would make a difference too. But then again, we'd be trading in our Mr. Task stocks to for the little visual bump there. So I don't know. I don't know what direction to go with it.
Yeah.
How about face haptics when you're putting though? Come on.
Gets hit in the face with the ball.
Brandon VR says play it now because the wireless Walkabout mini golf can get you tangled. I don't see. I don't think I've ever gotten tangled in VR, man. I just don't get it. Like I always tell people, just don't do the windmill, don't spin around in circles. You'll be okay.
I already play it on Steam VR with my G2 anyway. Like the tether isn't a problem here.
Yeah.
It's because you trigger up to the ball. It's not like you're walking and turning and doing all this stuff. Like, I sit down in between shots. When it's my turn, I get out of my chair and squeeze the trigger, and the ball's right in front of me, and then I putt.
Yeah, and you teleport everywhere, so it's not like you have to physically turn. You don't have. I mean, you can, but you don't have to.
Yeah. Anyway, that's what's out this week, and that brings us to our next reminder this week and every week. This is where we ask you all to take just a moment of your time and give these developers a few clicks as we all go together and wishlist a title. It could be one of these titles that we've talked about here today, or it could be another title that maybe you've been interested in. I don't know.
I know what I'm going for.
I know what I would go for if there's a store page for it. I'm going for Synapse.
That's exactly what I'm going for. I'm looking right now to see if there's a store page. I'm going for Synapse.
And if not, we're going to do the Journey to Foundation.
Oh, see, I was going to pivot and to go to Fogland. Although the Foundation looks awesome too. I could do all three of those and be happy.
Synapse is available for wishlisting on PlayStation Store, and I am doing that as we speak. So everyone who participates, we appreciate it. This is a big deal for developers. Having people wishlist their game helps a lot with their visibility. And Ruuts, what are you going to wishlist?
I'm trying to find. I don't know how to wishlist games on App Lab, but CoasterMania, believe it or not, I actually almost bought that today because I was like, man, curious to see what it's like. But I figure there's not too many people that have made tracks yet. Probably, but
hopefully the developer sees this. We'd love to talk about your game some more.
Absolutely.
CoasterMania people.
Absolutely.
Hit me up. Our email is in the description below.
Can't do it. Sorry, man.
Yeah, you're right. I don't want to go back to playing Quest games.
Well, I guess I can. I can add it to wishlist right here on the actual Quest MetaQuest store page. It's got 8 ratings, guys. 5 stars across the board. That I guarantee that's not
really
any developers or developers family. But no, I mean everybody's got good things to say about it. So
I like the concept.
I just did Journey to Foundation and Synapse, and now I'm gonna go do Fogland.
What are we gonna wishlist next week, bro? Slow down.
Okay, wait. I'm gonna say Fogland.
What are you doing, bro? We're getting a little ahead of yourself.
I had to do the Journey. I saw it in there, and I'm like, wow. I didn't think that was gonna have a page yet. To be honest with you.
Well, I can't let you think you're better than me, so I'm gonna go do it.
This man
I'm doing
legitimately
Fogland now.
thinks that he is better than us.
No, I'm definitely going to wish list Journey to Foundation because I am legitimately excited that our friends at Archaeact are getting back into the fold here.
Yeah.
Distracted says they have no problems turning in PSVR2, going to get a pulley system through the more freedom. What do you think about that, Mash? The pulley system with the PlayStation VR2? Didn't you say there's issues?
I love it. I got mine right here. Look, take a look.
But did you say you're worried about it?
Well, I'm a little bit worried about so I keep it pretty taut. It's like right above my head. Okay, so I'm just a little bit worried that if I turn, and when I turn enough, this cord right here might get like twisted. That's the only thing I'm worried about. I never worry about getting caught in my cord because my cord's above my head. So once I put it on, I stand up. It's never going to be around my head or body anyway. So if you're going to do this, I would invest $20 or whatever it is, $25 into a pulley system. Now, if you can do it, not everybody can do it. Like some people are in the middle of the living room and they don't want these permanent things. But they're really kind of see-through. You don't have to have the pulleys on there all the time. The pulleys come off.
Mm-hmm.
So I even me, I take mine down when I'm not using it. I just have it up here because I had it on before the show, so I left it up. But normally I take mine down. So all you really see is the little hooks on the ceiling. You don't see the whole big pulley system. But this really is the way to go. I mean, I never have a problem. I am just a little worried. I just don't like that they don't make this thing replaceable. I wish they did.
Right.
You could get an extension that I think has a swiveling action to it. So if you twist it, it just twists with you.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. I probably will end up doing that. Just because it's so. I mean, I really don't think it'd be that much of an issue. It doesn't happen to me very often, and it's only when I'm like really, really spinning around.
Tatum wish-listed Foglands. Brandon wish-listed Foglands. Gray Matter said I already wish-listed all those. So yeah, thanks for those of you who participated with us. Let us know in the comments down below what you wish-listed this week.
I was going to say, Wes, there is one more game coming out this week. Not officially coming out, but you can get out and play it. Everybody can get out and play it this week.
Yes. Ghost of Tabor Open Alpha launching this week. All you got to do is go to the Steam page and request alpha access, and they're accepting everyone for a period of time. Is that right, Eric?
Yeah, pretty much. If you go, I think it's slated for Wednesday. I'm hoping that's when it's going to be, but it may, these things with alphas, they can get pushed back a day or here. So, but I'm hoping by Wednesday everybody will be able to go to the page. That everybody's been wanting to get in there. Like people asking me for keys, and I just have very limited keys. I haven't been able to give a lot out. So, I know that everybody wants to play. So Wednesday, you go on Wednesday, log into the Steam page for Ghost of Tabor, and you're going to be able to click on request open alpha access, and pretty much everybody that does it will get into it, and you'll be able to play. I think it's for a week. You'll be able to play, and you're going to have some amazing stuff in there, like the stuff that we've been playing. If you've been watching me stream, that is not the alpha access that you get. You're going to be getting an updated alpha access that's going to have all these patches and all these fixes that they've been having for the last 3 weeks. So you're going to be playing an updated version, even though over the ones that we've all been streaming. So, and I have preliminary news that we could be seeing more than one map here.
What? A new map, you say?
Possibly, yeah. It's slated to hopefully have both maps. It's not guaranteed, but hopefully we'll have more than just the silo map.
That's a big deal. Everyone be sure to go visit the Merchant of Death while you're there as well.
Hell yeah, he's got the best music. Hell yeah.
Carbon Plays, has anybody played the Light Brigade yet on PSVR2? I've heard it's worse than the Quest 2, 60 FPS, tracking issues, low resolution. What do you guys thoughts on that?
Don't think low resolution. That's
no. I'll tell you. I'll tell you what is making people think this, because there are a few text screens where the text is very low resolution, but it isn't all of them. It's just like a few of the screens in certain scenarios. There are other ones that are crystal clear, but as far as the game itself, it looks great. Now, there are occasional performance hiccups, but they've always been very brief for me. And they are updating that going forward. They're going to lean into the dynamic foveated rendering with the eye tracking to kind of get some more performance out of it. But it's my preferred way to play the game.
Yeah.
I haven't played it on Quest. I played it on Steam and I played it on PlayStation VR. I prefer to play it on PlayStation VR because the haptics and the adaptive triggers are next level.
Colors.
And the colors, and it seems like I can see better. Like distant enemies are easier for me to target in the OLED.
Yeah.
It's definitely the best way to play. And there are tracking issues. Don't get me wrong. There is definitely tracking issues. And they're not taking advantage of some of the rendering yet, and I think they will. But definitely, it looks, but the low res in the game is not there. Like it may be, like Wes said, maybe in some of the menus, but not in the game. You're going to see a highly superior version of this, even over the PC version.
Agreed. Not sure Brondo with the $10 donation says, "Holy shice, you're still at it." Well, after dinner, I'm going to snuggle up with my dog and watch. Well, thank you, Brondo, for the donation and the kind words. We very much appreciate it.
Yep.
So what's left? I guess our final reminder this week and every week, and that is how you can do your part to support us, our channel, and our community. Of course, the most important thing that you could do is subscribe. Click the like button, ring the bell. It's just a few clicks, and it goes a long way toward enhancing our visibility. And I don't know, we've seemed to hit a switch here lately where we're growing pretty steadily at rates that were unseen before. So I want to thank you to everyone out there who keeps spreading the word. I think, Ruuts, do you think it could be possible that even the YouTube algorithm might be picking us up finally?
Yeah, maybe. We might actually be getting pushed instead of censored. Well, we're not censored, but it just seems like you want to do it the right way. It takes forever to get that momentum, but at least we're finally there, which is good.
Yeah. So thanks to everyone who's subscribed. Thank you to everyone who's went to their friends and say, "Hey, you got to check out this channel. It's the best, the most real VR podcast on YouTube, bar none. Virtual Strangers." Thank you.
We're not the best kept secret in VR anymore. Well, we might still be, but I don't know.
We might be, yeah. It might still be, but that's okay. If you want to do a little something extra, you can support us on Patreon, where for as little as $3 per month, you'll gain access to our weekly show notes, insider updates, exclusive content, all for less than $1 per week, and you get the peace of mind of knowing that you did your part to buy Ruuts a PlayStation VR2, to buy me a plane ticket to San Francisco, and all of these games that we've been modding into VR. You guys have been paying for all that as well. So thanks to everyone who supports us on Patreon. We got two more new patrons this week, wow. Ruuts. How about that?
That's awesome. And definitely, usually we lose one, we gain one. So we got two without losing any. That's awesome.
Yeah, we're ahead of the game. Yeah, you guys are awesome. Everyone who donates on YouTube, everyone who donates through the Patreon. We sat on it for years and we didn't spend hardly any of it. And now finally we're getting into some situations where we need it. And yeah, you guys have been lifesavers in more ways than one, and we appreciate all of you.
Yep.
And of course, maybe you don't have money to donate to us, and we certainly understand that in today's climate. But here's the good thing: you don't need money to join us on Discord. All you have to do is click the invitation link down below, and you'll be whisked away into a magical land of VR enthusiasts from every platform who always get along 100% of the time.
Always. And the best part about it is the off-topic channel where people are constantly linking police chases. And believe it or not, that's actually really cool because it's from California where Radio Runt used to live, and there's always some kind of crazy police chase on there. And that's my favorite part of it.
I think we should. I think I've been thinking about overhauling the Discord and maybe cutting some of the fat and renaming some. I think we maybe need a specific channel for police chases.
Yes,
agreed, 100%.
24/7.
Yeah, since that's my new job in life, Eric, I've been thinking about ways that I can enhance our very own Discord. I think that's going to be one of the biggest benefits for our community that I'm working with Impact now, is that I'm going to become a little bit more well versed in what it takes to build an effective social media platform.
That's what I was just thinking. I was wait till we get the next game that we're working with, and we got to go redo their Discord. It's going to be like a piece of cake, right?
Yeah, I'm kind of learning as I go right now, but
well, this is like one of the hardest Discords to do, right? Like this Discord's no joke, and this is like where a lot of people are gonna have to like get into and communicate and play, and like it's this is like hardcore, and there's a lot of people in there, man. There's like almost 4,000 people in there already, and the game hasn't even launched yet.
By the way, guys, those of you who are on the Virtual Strangers Discord, help me test out our new voice chat feature. You'll notice if you scroll down past the voice channels that there's something in there called Temp Voice. And what that allows you to do is create your own voice channels. You don't have to go into the ones that we have set up for you already. All you have to do is click the plus symbol, and not the one, the big plus icon. Click on that and it'll create a voice channel for you. And you can invite people into it. When you're done, you leave the call and it automatically deletes the channel. So temporary voice channels have now been added to the Virtual Strangers Discord. We have 3 different versions. We have one that's pre-configured for 2 players, one that's pre-configured for 4 players, and then another one that's fully customizable. So you just open up your channel in there. You can leave it wide open if you want, or you can go to the interface, which you'll see directly above, and there are buttons in there to set the player count. You can make it private. You can do whatever you want with it. It's a pretty cool feature, but I just implemented it. I haven't had a chance to test it out. So you all be doing me a solid if you'll get in there, test it out, make sure everything works the way it's supposed to, because I think it's pretty cool. Anyway, Kill Artist.
Yep,
nice.
Kill Artist 1, the Dreamweaver Game Cat, with the $4.99 donation, says, "Hey guys, I'm back, taking a break from Call of the Mountain. I tried reducing the brightness on the headset and I found the sweet spot. I'm loving the PSVR2 era." Here. Yeah, you know, with any new platform, there's always trade-offs. There's always ways that you kind of have to work to exist in it. But what's pretty cool is, you know, over time you typically adapt to these things, and then they become second nature pretty quickly. And it sounds like Kill Artist is hitting that zone right now. So
I had the same experience.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, because I found my sweet spot and I turned down the brightness, and it made it look so much better and clearer. And I mean, I wasn't getting sick already from before, but it definitely seems like, you know, any like weird blurring as you moved seems to be gone. So shout out to Brad for pointing out the obvious that none of us saw, because Brad is the best. Yeah. And he smells. That's what he says.
You rock, Brad. Brandon said, "I heard 75%. That's typically where I keep mine, but you know, everyone's different, what they find acceptable. But I will say this, the more you turn it down, the more it helps all that stuff. It helps the mirror, it helps the reprojection, motion blur. All of it gets a bit more muted if you don't have that brightness jacked all the way to the moon."
Yeah, that's true.
Grumpy Williams says, "Slack your way to Discordianism." Thank you. That's exactly what I'm trying to do. And Distracted says, "Brad is the best."
He is. He's actually a really good guy. Glad we know him.
Yep. I agree with that.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, guys, I think that's our show for this week. I want to thank everyone who showed up to hang out with us again. Tune in just a few days' time, as we're going to be playing some more PSVR2 games. I think we're going to do Runner for sure. What we're doing besides that, still kind of up in the air, but whatever it is, we can assure you it's going to be awesome.
Yep.
And with that said, friends, I'd like to thank you all once again for watching. For Ruuts and Eric, I'm Wes. We'll see you in a few days. Bye.
Take it easy.
See you later.